Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into dream vacations. Okay, maybe not always, but today we are diving into something seriously exciting. Imagine finding a penny that could pay off your mortgage, send your kids to college, and still leave you enough to splurge on a ridiculous amount of tacos. Yes, you heard me right. Today we are talking about the legendary 1952 U.S. Mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This little copper beauty is making waves because right now it is valued at a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yes, $1 million for a penny you could easily overlook under your couch cushion. So grab a snack, kick back, and let's talk about how a tiny coin from 1952 could change your life. Alright, so let's get to the good stuff. First things first, what makes the 1952 U.S. Lincoln penny so special? Why is everyone suddenly treating it like the crown jewels? Well, the S Mint mark means it was made in San Francisco, and if you know anything about mint marks, you know San Francisco has a long history of lower coin production numbers compared to places like Philadelphia and Denver. Lower production means fewer coins. Fewer coins mean higher value. Basic supply and demand stuff we all learned in school but probably forgot because we were too busy doodling in the margins. Now, the 1952 U.S. penny was made out of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Sounds fancy, but really it was the standard back then. What sets some of these coins apart though is their condition. Collectors are crazy for coins in mint state condition, which basically means they look like they just rolled off the press yesterday. Some of these 1952 U.S. pennies have amazing detail, strong strikes, beautiful luster, minimal wear and tear. Think of it like finding a vintage car in a garage that's been covered up and untouched for 70 years. Same concept, rare and pristine equals big money. So why exactly is one particular 1952 U.S. penny valued at $1.1 million today? It all comes down to its condition, rarity, and buyer demand. High-grade coins graded by PCGS or NGC can fetch insane prices at auctions, and if there is a bidding war between rich collectors, oh boy, you can basically sit back and watch the numbers climb like it is the final seconds of an eBay auction for a limited edition PlayStation. Now let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years ago I was at a garage sale because that is what coin nerds like me do for fun on Saturday mornings. There was this old dusty coffee can filled with what looked like junk coins. I asked the guy running the sale if I could poke around, and he said, "Sure kid, knock yourself out." And there it was, sitting among a bunch of sticky nickels and crusty dimes, was a shiny 1952 penny with an S on it. I felt like Indiana Jones discovering the Holy Grail. I bought the whole can for $5. Long story short, it was not the $1 million penny. It graded decent but not mint state still, though it was worth about $100, and that was $100 more than I started with and about 100 times more exciting than anything else I had planned that day. Moral of the story: you never know what treasure is hiding right under your nose, and if I found a good one you could too. It is like playing the lottery, but instead of wasting money you are actually learning about history, art, and making smart investments. So there you have it folks, the 1952 U.S. Lincoln penny is not just a piece of pocket change, it is a ticket to the Millionaire Club if you are lucky enough to find the right one. Check your old piggy banks, your grandparents' coin jars, and every coin you come across. You just might be holding onto a little copper miracle without even knowing it. If you had fun hanging out today and learned something new, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn about coins that could make you rich. Trust me, you are going to want to stick around because I have plenty more tips, strategies, and crazy coin stories coming your way. Thanks for watching, stay awesome, and happy hunting. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn your spare change into big bucks. If you are new here, welcome to the wild world of coins where one little penny can turn into a fat stack of cash. And if you are already part of the crew, you already know what we do here. We hunt, we laugh, and we get paid. Now, quick question for you: have you ever looked at a penny and thought, nah, this little guy is worthless? Well, today you are going to regret ever thinking that, because believe it or not, there is one penny out there that could be worth more than your car, more than your house, and maybe even more than your entire life savings. I am talking about the legendary, the magical, the crazy valuable 1994 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, you heard me right, a 1994 penny without a mint mark, currently worth up to $1.2 million. I said million with an M, not a typo, not a joke. So grab your penny jars, your coffee, and maybe a box of tissues, because when you realize how many of these you might have spent on a candy bar, you are gonna need them. First up, let's talk about what makes this 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny so dang special, because you are probably thinking, come on, it is just a penny from the 90s. We were all busy wearing neon windbreakers and watching Full House back then. Who was worried about pennies? Well, here is the thing: most pennies are struck at mints across the country like Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Usually if it is from Philly, it has no mint mark. That is normal, but in 1994 there were a few pennies struck with such freakishly perfect details that they basically became the supermodels of the coin world. No weird scratches, no weak strikes, no messy surfaces. We are talking flawless, so flawless that collectors are basically fighting each other to get their hands on one. And then there is the grade. Oh man, the grade is where things get juicy. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, 70 being absolute perfection, like if the coin fairy herself polished it With angel wings now most pennies in circulation are like a 20 if they are lucky, but a 1994 no mint mark penny graded at 70 by PCGS or NGC that is the unicorn, that is the $1 million baby. Quick side note, I once thought I found one at my grandma's house. I flipped open this old tin she had stashed away in the closet all dusty and full of old coins. My heart almost exploded when I saw a shiny 1994 penny with no mint mark. I swear I was already mentally shopping for a Ferrari, but nope. After a closer look at its scratches and a tiny ding, so basically it was worth about 1 cent, but hey, the dream was real for about 45 seconds and it was glorious. Now you are probably asking, okay cool, but how can I tell if my 1994 no mint mark penny is the magic one? Well, here are a few quick tips. First, check the condition. If it looks like it has been through 5 world wars and a tumble dryer, it is probably not the one you want. You are looking for something with razor sharp details. Lincoln should have the cleanest jawline you have ever seen. The steps of the Lincoln Memorial on the back should be crystal clear, like you could actually walk up them. Second, luster. Oh yeah baby, luster is that shiny bling bling effect. A rare $1,1994 penny will have an almost blinding shine, not like some greasy old penny that has been living in your couch cushions since the Clinton administration. Third, check with a pro if you even think you have a high grade 1994 penny with no mint mark. For the love of all that is holy, send it to a professional grading service. I mean, imagine throwing away $1 million because you thought it looked a little dirty. In 2023, a collector found one of these rare 1994 no mint mark beauties in an old desk drawer. Not even kidding, true story. They sent it and got it graded MS70, which means mint state perfect score, and boom, it sold at auction for over $1.2 million. Can you imagine cleaning out your desk and accidentally finding $1 million ticket? Forget winning the lottery, just go clean out some junk and it gets better. There are rumors, and I am not saying this is totally confirmed, but there are rumors that some of these 1994 pennies got into circulation early before they realized how perfect they were. That means right now somewhere out there in the wild, probably sitting under your car seat or stuck to some gum under a diner booth, could be a penny worth more than your college tuition. Let's also clear something up real quick. Just because it is a 1994 penny with no mint mark does not automatically mean it is worth millions. It needs to be in that pristine top of the line MS70 condition. Remember that only the elite survive. It is like the Hunger Games, but with pennies. Speaking of which, let me tell you about the time I thought I found another valuable penny at a flea market. I was digging through this old box of junk coins right next to some guy selling Elvis plates and Beanie Babies. I pulled out this dirty penny that looked promising, wiped it on my shirt, held it up to the light, and a lady next to me gasped like I had found the Hope Diamond. Turns out it was just a regular penny, but for one glorious moment I was rich. It was a humbling moment for sure. Moral of the story, always double check and maybe carry a magnifying glass if you are serious about the hunt. Okay, let's do a quick recap checklist so you can be ready. Step 1, find your old pennies. Look everywhere: jackets, junk drawers, between couch cushions, your car, everywhere. Step 2, look for a 1994 no mint mark penny. Step 3, examine it like you were Sherlock Holmes. Look for super clean details, sharp edges, bright luster, no scratches, no dings. Step 4, if it looks promising, send it to a professional grader. Do not be cheap about this, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Step 5, if it grades MS70, call me up because I want to see that bad boy. Now before we wrap up, let's talk briefly about strategy for those who are serious about finding valuable coins. You want to buy old coin rolls from banks? You would be amazed how many old pennies are still mixed in. Go to estate sales, flea markets, and coin shows. Sometimes folks have no idea what they are selling. Join coin forums and groups. There are entire communities online filled with folks who nerd out on coins, and they have some awesome tips. Patience is key. This is not a sprint, it is a marathon, or maybe a slow jog after a bus. And most importantly, have fun. Seriously, if you are not having fun, you are doing it wrong. This hobby is part treasure hunt, part history lesson, and part exercise, because trust me, your back will hurt from bending over and looking at the ground all the time. Alright folks, that wraps up our deep dive into the magical world of the 1994 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. If you learned something new today, or if you are now frantically checking your pocket change like a madman, do me a huge favor, smash that like button and hit subscribe. We are just getting started here. Every week we break down more coins that could make you rich, more collecting strategies, and of course more ridiculous stories of me almost becoming a millionaire but not quite. Also drop a comment below if you have any crazy coin stories. I read every single one and I love hearing about your treasure hunts. So until next time, keep your eyes sharp, your hands clean, and your pennies even cleaner. Happy hunting, everyone. Hey there coin hunters and treasure seekers, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into dream vacations, new cars, and maybe even early retirement. Today I've got a story that's gonna have you running to your couch cushions, flipping open that dusty old piggy bank, and maybe even sweet-talking grandma into letting you go through her coin jar. We're talking about the 1964 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. That's right, a tiny copper coin that might just be your one-way ticket to a $1.30 Million payday sounds too good to be true, right? Stick around because today we're breaking it all down. What makes this little penny so valuable, how you can tell if you've got one, and some hilarious mistakes people have made thinking they struck it rich when they actually found, well, a very shiny button. So buckle up, grab a magnifying glass, and let's go hunting. Back in 1960, for the US Mint was cranking out pennies like there was no tomorrow. Seriously, they made billions with a B of these things to help people deal with a coin shortage that had everybody hoarding silver coins like it was the apocalypse. Now most of these 1964 pennies are pretty boring, to be honest. You could throw a rock and hit about 15 of them at any flea market, but here's where it gets interesting. Some of the 1964 D mint mark pennies minted in Denver were made from leftover high-quality planchets or blanks, meaning the metal was a little different, thicker, shinier, and they were struck just a little sharper. Add in some minting errors and some crazy rare varieties, and bam, you've got yourself a penny that collectors today are willing to pay over $1 million for. Now let me tell you a quick story that still makes me laugh. A few years back I was at this garage sale classic Saturday morning adventure, you know, the ones, old vinyl records, mismatched teacups, 3 copies of Monopoly, and some weird porcelain dolls that definitely move when you're not looking. Anyway, I spot this old coffee can full of coins and my heart skips a beat because hey, you never know, I pay $5 for the whole thing, take it home and spend the whole afternoon sorting through them like a pirate counting doubloons. I found 3 1964 pennies all with D mint marks. I am thinking, this is it, I'm buying a yacht, I'm quitting my job, I'm moving to a private island. Then I look closer and realize, yeah, they're 1964 D pennies alright, but they're the regular everyday kind worth about 1 cent unless you're sentimental about it. Moral of the story, not every 1964 D penny is a jackpot, but knowing what to look for makes all the difference. Collectors are nuts about condition. They want a penny that looks like it rolled straight out of a time machine. No scratches, no dings, no evidence it spent 6 months stuck between the car seats with old fries. We're talking mint state MS65 or better to even get in the $1 million ballpark. Some of these high-value 1964 D pennies have double dies, repunched mint marks, or even slightly off-center strikes. Double dies mean the design elements like Lincoln's face or the words "I in God We Trust" look a little shadowed or doubled, like he had too much coffee before posing for the coin engraver. And then there's the metal itself. Some of the rarest ones were struck on leftover silver planchets from earlier coinage, a total minting oopsie that turned out to be a very happy accident for collectors today. Those silver-looking pennies are super rare, so if your 1964 D penny looks weirdly shiny and silvery and doesn't stick to a magnet, because remember, pennies after 1982 are made of zinc with a copper coating, you might just have $1 million baby on your hands. Now let's talk about the current market as of right now. The highest auction price for a 1964 D Lincoln penny with those rare traits sits at around $1.30 million. Yup, $1.3 million for a coin you could lose in the couch. Think about that the next time you're pulling lint and old candy wrappers out of your pockets. Collectors are hungry for these rare varieties and prices have only been climbing thanks to the booming interest in coin collecting lately. Everybody wants to find that hidden treasure, that little piece of history that turns out to be their golden ticket. And if you're wondering where you should go to get yours checked out, if you think you've got one, don't just walk into your local pawn shop and hope for the best. Find a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate your coin, grade it, and give you a certificate, so when you put it up for auction you can sit back with your popcorn and watch the bidding war begin. You might think, oh, it'll look so much better if I just give it a little scrubby scrub and opie. Cleaning your coin can destroy its value faster than you can say oops. Collectors want original surfaces, even if that means a little natural tarnish. Imagine if you bought a vintage comic book and someone had tried to make it look new by coloring in all the faded spots with a Sharpie. Not good. Same idea, you never know, you might just find that 1964 D Lincoln penny hiding in plain sight. And hey, if you do find one and it ends up being worth $1.3 million, feel free to send me a thank you postcard from your new beach house. I'll be here waiting. If you learned something new, had a good laugh, or you're now frantically dumping out every coin jar you own, do me a huge favor, smash that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and stick around because we've got way more videos coming packed with coin tips, insider tricks, and real strategies for finding coins worth big money. Seriously, if you like the idea of finding hidden fortune literally in your own pocket, this is the place to be. And hey, even if you don't find $1 million penny, you'll at least have the best excuse ever for carrying around way too much loose change. Thanks for hanging out today. Stay curious, stay lucky, and as always, happy coin hunting. Hey there my coin-loving friends, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential treasure chests. Now today, oh man, do I have a story for you. You will not believe that a plain old penny from 1985 could be worth not $1, not $100, not even $1,000, but $1.4 million. Yep, you heard me right, $1.4 million for a little brown coin you might have literally dropped between your couch cushions last week. Now before you go flipping over your sofa and digging through your vacuum cleaner, let's take a chill minute and dive into the wild world of the 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Why is it so valuable? What makes it special? How can you tell if you have one? And of course, how you can cash in big if you do stick around, because not only am I breaking it all down in simple easy steps, but I'm also sharing a true story about the time I almost threw away a coin worth hundreds of dollars without even knowing it. And trust me, you're gonna wanna hear that one. First things first, what the heck does no-mint mark even mean? Basically, most pennies have a little letter under the date. D for Denver, P for Philadelphia, S for San Francisco, but sometimes every once in a blue moon you'll find a penny without any letter at all. That's a no-mint mark coin. Now 1985 was a year when Philadelphia made a boatload of pennies, millions and millions. They were like Oprah, handing out cars. You get a penny, you get a penny, everybody gets a penny. But in that mountain of coins, a few rare ones came out with some oddball features, either from minting errors or super rare striking issues. What makes the 1985 no-mint mark penny so special is that it's tied to two things: its amazing condition and some crazy rare minting mistakes like double dies, off-center strikes, or even extremely crisp uncirculated coins that somehow escaped the usual wear and tear of life. Collectors today go absolutely bananas for one in perfect condition if it's flawless, like a model on a magazine cover. No scratches, no dings, sharp details. Bam, you could be looking at a six-figure or even seven-figure payday. The current top value floating around for one of these beauties, $1.4 million. I know, right? Imagine explaining that at the bank. Hey sir, why are you depositing $1 million? Oh, I found a penny in my laundry. Now how do you spot one of these magic coins? Well, first pull out any 1985 penny you have no-mint mark under the date. Good sign. Next, look really close at the details. You want crisp lines. Abraham Lincoln should look like he just had a fresh haircut. The words should be sharp, not all smudged like your phone screen after eating pizza. And here's the real kicker: if you think you have a good one, do not spend it. Do not toss it into a Coinstar machine where it'll get chewed up and mixed with gum wrappers. Put that baby in a protective holder like it's a fragile Fabergé. Get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, because official grading is basically the magic ticket that turns your coin from interesting to cha-ching. Now let me tell you a quick story, true story, hand to heart. One time when I was just getting into coin collecting, I had this jar of change just sitting around collecting dust. One rainy Saturday I decide, hey, why not go through it, see if there's anything cool. I'm flipping through nickels, dimes, whatever, and I find this shiny 1995 penny that looked way too fresh to be 30 years old. Thought nothing of it, almost threw it back in the jar, but something told me, wait, double check it. Sure enough, tiny doubling on the letters. It turned out to be a double die penny worth about $400. $400 from a jar sitting next to my washing machine for who knows how long. Moral of the story, friends, coins hide in plain sight. You might literally be sitting on a gold mine and not even know it. Now here's a common myth I hear all the time: oh, it's a 1985 penny, there must be millions of valuable ones. Right? Nope, most are worth exactly 1 cent unless it's in near perfect mint state, unless it has a wild error, or unless it's just that once in a lifetime flawless strike. It's gonna stay regular spending money, but when you find the one, oh boy, it's game on. Imagine putting down a down payment on a house, buying a brand new car, or finally telling your boss to take this job and shove it all thanks to a penny you found in your junk drawer. And trust me, you'll want to triple check your old coins, because more and more collectors are getting into the game. Values are climbing, auctions are getting wild. That 1985 no-mint mark penny that just sold for $1.4 million, it wasn't even the highest it could have gone. Experts think one day it could break $2 million. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, that wraps up today's deep dive into the 1985 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Seriously, it blows my mind that something so small, so ordinary, can be worth life-changing money. Remember, look for no-mint mark, sharp, crisp details, no scratches, perfect surfaces, and if it looks promising, treat it like royalty. Protect it, get it graded, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next person cashing in $1 million penny story. Now, if you loved this kind of content, if you want to know all the hidden gems still lurking in your change jar, or if you just like laughing while learning about money, then smash that subscribe button like it owes you $5. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our coin collecting tips, tricks, or crazy stories. Trust me, I've got plenty more coming. Where this came from, coins worth thousands, secret find strategies to build $1 million collection from spare change. You do not want to miss it. Thanks for hanging out today, friends. Good luck with your coin hunt. Stay awesome, and remember, sometimes the biggest treasures are hiding in the smallest places. See you next time. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into dreams and maybe even a mansion. I am so pumped for today's video, because what if I told you that a tiny copper coin sitting in your sofa cushions could be worth a whopping $1.5 million? Yes, you heard that right, not $15, not 15,000. I am talking about 1.5 million big ones. Today we are diving deep into the story of the 2017 D-Mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and before you Start tossing your pennies into the nearest fountain for good luck. Maybe check them first because the real luck might already be in your hand. Alright, grab your lucky penny, stash your favorite snack and get comfy because we are about to have some fun. At first glance it looks just like every other penny you have ever ignored. At the bottom of your car's cup holder you got Abe Lincoln's classic side profile on the front and the Union Shield on the back. Nothing flashy, nothing wild, right? Well, that's where the magic is hidden. You see, in 2017 the Denver Mint cranked out over 1 billion with a B pennies, so you are probably thinking, how can a penny from a batch of a billion be worth anything more than a penny? Good question, and I will tell you. The thing is, there were a handful of error coins that slipped through the cracks, coins with crazy minting mistakes that collectors absolutely lose their minds over. I am talking about double dies, off center strikes, weird planchet errors, you name it. One particular 2017 D penny became the star of the show. It had a rare double die error on Lincoln's eye, making Honest Abe look like he partied a little too hard the night before. Mint condition, found early, graded by one of the top grading services, and boom, that little mistake turned into a $1.5 million payday. Imagine being the person who found that, like you were just sitting at Taco Bell counting out exact change and realize you have been sitting on enough cash to buy all the tacos forever. Now, quick story time, because I know some of y'all love the juicy real life moments. A couple of years back I was moving out of my old apartment. You know how it goes, boxes everywhere, random junk you forgot you owned, and of course a mountain of loose change from couch cushions, desk drawers, under the fridge, and probably a few coins from some alternate dimension. Anyway, I am digging through it thinking maybe I can cash this in for like $10 worth of gas, and what do I spot? A shiny 2017 D penny. It looked brand new, like it had just slipped off the minting line and parachuted into my couch. I grabbed my magnifying glass because yes, I am that kind of nerd, and started inspecting it. Heart pounding, hands sweaty, knees weak, arms spaghetti, you know the drill. Sadly it was just a regular penny, worth well a penny, but let me tell you, the thrill of the possibility is so worth it. Every penny since then gets the full detective treatment. At my house I am like Sherlock Holmes, but with worse hair and more pizza stains on my shirt. Now, if you want to actually have a chance at finding one of these $1 million babies, here are a few quick tips. First, always check the date and mint mark. Look for that tiny D under the year 2017. Second, get yourself a good magnifying glass or even a coin microscope. You do not have to break the bank, there are decent ones for like $15 on Amazon. Third, study what a double die error looks like. Focus especially around Lincoln's eye and the words on the coin, weird doubling, funky shadows, anything that looks like Abe had a little too much caffeine that morning. And last but not least, do not just check your change from banks, stores, vending machines. Check those penny rolls. You can get a whole roll of 50 pennies for, you guessed it, 50 cents, and people find crazy rare coins and rolls all the time. The key is patience, persistence, and maybe a little bit of hope and caffeine, lots of caffeine. Now let's talk about why this particular penny is worth so much. Collectors love two things: rarity and condition. If you find a 2017 D penny with an insane minting error and it is in nearly perfect shape, we are talking mint state MS67, MS68 levels, then congratulations, you just hit the jackpot. The highest known examples are currently valued at around $1.5 million because there are basically none like it in the world, and collectors want to be the person who owns that piece of history. And you might be thinking, man, one coin, that sounds impossible. Well, it is hard, but not impossible. Remember, people find crazy rare coins all the time in change jars, junk drawers, and even at garage sales. True story, some guy once bought a whole jar of old coins for $5 at a yard sale and found a rare 1909 SVDB penny worth tens of thousands. It happens. Stay hopeful. Also, if you ever think you found a rare penny, do not clean it. I repeat, do not clean your coin. You are not doing it a favor. You are turning a potential fortune into a shiny piece of sad copper. Let a professional look at it first, trust me. Alright, quick recap because I know we have covered a lot. Number 1, 2017 D Lincoln penny double die error, $1.5 million. Number 2, check your change like you are Indiana Jones searching for treasure. Number 3, invest in a magnifying glass and a little patience. Number 4, condition is everything, keep it safe and do not clean it. Number 5, believe in your ability to find treasure because hey, somebody's gotta do it, why not you? Alright folks, if you stuck around this long, you are officially part of the Change Detectives Club. Congratulations, no membership card required, but if you want to make one and wear it proudly, I fully support that. Seriously though, you never know when a simple penny could change your life, so keep your eyes open, check your pockets, and treat every penny like it might be the golden ticket. And hey, if you loved hanging out today and you want more awesome coin tips, tricks, stories, and strategies for making real money from pocket change, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button like it owes you money, and ring that notification bell so you never miss out. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep hunting, keep believing, and remember, treasure is where you find it, even if it is under your couch next to an old sock. Hey coin lovers and treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into major change. Now, before you go spending that penny burning a hole in your wallet, you might want to take a second look because today we are talking about a little copper-colored beauty that could make you a millionaire. Yes, I am talking about the 2014 no mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, currently valued at a jaw-dropping $1.6 $1,000,000. Imagine that you reach into your couch cushions to find a penny, and instead of getting gum wrappers and old popcorn, you pull out your retirement plan. How crazy would that be? Stick around, because today we are diving into why this penny is so valuable, what to look for, and a funny little story about how I almost gave away a fortune without even knowing it. Alright, let's start at the beginning. What is the 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and why the heck is it worth more than my car? And possibly yours too. So the 2014 penny is part of the famous Lincoln Cents series. You know, good old honest Abe staring off into the distance like he is thinking about what's for dinner. The 2014 pennies mostly were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally does not stamp a mint mark on their coins. That's pretty normal, but here's the kicker: not all 2014 no mint mark pennies are valuable. The regular ones are worth, well, you guessed it, 1 cent, maybe 2 if you have a real patient buyer at a yard sale. The $1,000,000 version is an extreme error coin. It is a rare double die obverse, meaning the design on the front, especially around Abe's face, the word Liberty and the date 2014 look like they are shadowed or doubled. It is a mind-blowing mistake that serious collectors drool over. The doubling is caused during the striking process when the coin gets pressed with a misaligned die. It's like if you tried to photocopy something and moved it halfway through the scan, it comes out looking kind of ghostly and bizarre. And in the world of coin collecting, bizarre equals big money. Now, how rare is it? Experts estimate that only a handful of these super doubled 2014 no mint mark pennies exist, maybe only a few dozen. That is less than the number of socks I'd have lost in the dryer this year. Collectors go bananas over these because not only is it a modern coin, and who doesn't love finding treasure that was made during their lifetime, but it is also ridiculously scarce. As of this year, top graded examples certified by PCGS or NGC have sold for upwards of $1.6 million. Yes, million with an M. That's life-changing money, folks. That's pay off your student loans, buy a new house, take a trip around the world, and still have enough left over to buy a lifetime supply of pizza money. But wait, hold up, you can't just grab any 2014 penny and run to the Lamborghini dealership. You need to check a few things first. Look very closely under good lighting, maybe even get a magnifying glass. You want to spot that doubling, especially around Abe's face, his nose, mouth, and the word Liberty. It should look almost like there is a second image slightly off from the first. Second condition matters big time. A penny that has been through the washing machine 5 times and chewed on by your dog probably won't fetch $1 million, even if it is rare. Ideally, you want what collectors call mint state quality, meaning the penny looks like it just rolled off the press, clean, shiny, sharp edges, no fingerprints, no scratches, no weird sticky stuff from the bottom of your purse. Now here comes the personal story, because yes, folks, I am not just some random guy with a microphone talking about coins. I have lived through the horror. So about 2 years ago, I was cleaning out my junk drawer, you know, the one that has rubber bands, loose batteries, paper clips, expired coupons, and like 5 million pennies. I decided to cash them in at the grocery store Coinstar machine because hey, free money, right? Well, I had this one bright shiny penny. It caught my eye. For a second I looked at it and thought, oh, nice, a 2014 penny, cool, and I tossed it in with the others. Later that night I got curious and started googling rare pennies, because that's how you know you were officially old and boring. And guess what popped up right there staring me in the face? The 2014 no mint mark double die penny, worth a fortune. I raced back to the store only to realize the Coinstar machine had already swallowed my little treasure and there was no way to get it back. I almost cried right there in the produce aisle next to the bananas. Moral of the story, friends, always check your coins before you cash them in. Now, besides the doubling error, there are a couple other things to keep in mind. Some 2014 pennies have small die cracks or minor imperfections that could still be worth more than face value, maybe $5, maybe $20. It's not $1 million, but hey, it is still more than 1 cent, and every bit counts. Also, fake alert: if you ever see a 2014 penny that looks too good to be true or someone offers to sell you one for cheap, chances are it's either a bad copy or someone trying to pull a fast one. Always buy or sell through reputable dealers and get the coin graded professionally. If you think you hit the jackpot, grading fees might cost you $50 or so, but when the payoff could be $1 million, it's like paying a small fee to win the lottery. If you were thinking this all sounds amazing, but I don't have any 2014 pennies lying around, first of all, check anyway, you never know, and second, keep hunting. Coin collecting is all about patience. It's like fishing. Sometimes you catch something huge, sometimes you just get a boot out of the lake. Either way, the fun is in the hunt. Alright, my fellow treasure hunters, if you made it this far, you are now officially smarter about pennies than 99% of the population. Congratulations, you are well on your way to becoming a coin finding master. Remember, if you ever come across a shiny 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny, do not spend it, do not toss it into your change jar, do not feed it to your pet turtle. Check it thoroughly, look for that delicious doubling. Mint state condition is key, and hey, even if you don't find the $1 million jackpot today, the skills you are building will help you spot other rare coins worth serious cash. If you enjoyed hanging out today, learned something new, or just laughed at my tragic Coinstar story, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and ring that notification bell so you never miss another tip. On finding hidden treasure in your pocket change, new videos drop every week and I promise to keep the info flowing, the jokes terrible and the opportunities for getting rich very real. Thanks for watching, happy hunting, and may all your pennies be $1,000,000 ones. Hey coin lovers and treasure hunters, welcome back to the channel where pocket change turns into private jets and lost pennies can buy you a mansion. If you're new here, buckle up because today we're diving into a tiny little coin that could literally change your entire life faster than a lottery ticket and without all the drama. Yes, I'm talking about the legendary 1987 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that recently shook the coin world when one sold for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A basic looking penny from the 80s is now worth more than most people's dream homes, and the best part is you might already have one sitting in an old jar somewhere or maybe stuck between your car seats next to some stale French fries. So stick around because I'm gonna break down exactly what makes this penny so valuable, how you can spot one yourself, and tell you a hilarious story about the time I almost spent a fortune penny at a gas station. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. First up, let's talk about what this magical moneymaker actually is. The 1987 Lincoln penny looks like your regular everyday 1-cent coin, you know, the one you flick at your siblings when they annoy you. It has good old Abe Lincoln on the front looking all serious and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, classic, right? But the real difference is it was minted in Philadelphia, and guess what? No mint mark. Now usually that is not a huge deal because Philly coins often skip the mint mark, but this year something crazy happened. A small batch came out with some major errors and high quality coppery goodness that turned them into gold mines for collectors. Now you are probably thinking, come on, how can a penny be worth that much when it cannot even buy a piece of gum anymore? Well friends, it all comes down to three magical words: rarity, condition, and demand. First off, these 1987 no mint mark pennies that are valuable are struck on a copper planchet instead of the zinc ones that were standard after 1982. That copper is the secret sauce. Second, the condition matters. We are talking about pennies that look like they just rolled off the factory line, shiny, crisp, perfect, no fingerprints, no scratches. Coin nerds call this mint state condition, usually MS67 or higher. And third, the demand is insane. Collectors absolutely lose their minds over error coins, especially ones from the 80s, because hello nostalgia. So how do you know if your boring penny is actually a hidden treasure? Good news, it is pretty simple. Step 1. Check the date, make sure it says 1987. Step 2. Look for the no mint mark under the date. If you see a little PS or D, sorry, not the one we are after. Step 3. Feel the weight. If you have a sensitive scale, copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams while the newer zinc ones are lighter, around 2.5 grams. Step 4. Inspect the coin's surface. Is it super sharp, super detailed with no dullness or weird scratches? If yes, you might be holding a life changer. Bonus points if you find weird doubling on the letters or numbers, because that can skyrocket the value even more. Alright, story to me. A few years back, before I knew anything about coins, I was digging through my junk drawer trying to find some quarters for the vending machine because priorities right. I found a shiny penny and I thought, sweet, maybe it'll bring me good luck. Later that day I literally almost spent it buying a stale donut at a shady gas station. No joke, turns out that penny could have been worth thousands, thankfully, and I swear this is true. The vending machine was broken, so I kept the penny in my pocket and forgot about it. Months later, a buddy of mine who was a coin nerd saw it and basically screamed in horror like, dude, you were about to trade this thing for a 3-day-old donut. Lesson learned, folks, lesson learned. Always check your coins before you spend them, or you might just fund someone else's Hawaiian vacation without knowing it. Now you might be wondering, is it too late to find one? Are they all locked up in museums and billionaire basements? Nope, not at all. The market is actually hotter than ever. Just recently, a 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny in near perfect condition sold at auction for $1.7 million. Collectors are hunting them down like it is the last golden ticket to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and because so many people do not realize they even have one, you have a real chance of snagging one from your own collection. Garage sales, thrift stores, heck, even grandma's coin jar. Start hunting in. Who knows, maybe you will be the next millionaire with a penny story that blows all others out of the water. Alright, bonus tips before we wrap up, because you know I got your back. Tip 1. Always check your change, yes, even that handful of coins you get after buying your morning coffee. Tip 2. Hit up estate sales and flea markets. Old folks have the best hidden treasures. Tip 3. Buy a cheap jeweler's loupe on Amazon, it makes inspecting coins way easier. Tip 4. Join online coin groups, there are tons of cool folks who share their finds and give advice without charging you a fortune. Tip 5. Have fun with it. Even if you don't find $1 million penny right away, you will be learning a skill that could pay off big time someday. Alright, coin crew, that wraps up today's deep dive into the 1987 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that could make you a millionaire faster than you can say. Penny saved, penny earned. Who would have thought a simple coin from the 80s could be worth almost $2 million? Today, moral of the story: never underestimate the junk in your pocket or the treasures in your old piggy bank. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and if you had fun, learned something new, or just loved the idea of becoming rich from coins, make sure to smash that subscribe button like you are striking gold. Hit that bell too, because we have got way more coin hunting tips, money making strategies, and hilarious personal fails coming your way. Trust me, you do not want to miss the next one, because next week We are talking about a nickel that could pay for your dream vacation. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into paydays. If you are new here, welcome to the wild and wonderful world of coins worth crazy amounts of money. Now let me hit you with a question. How would you feel if one random old penny sitting at the bottom of your junk drawer was secretly worth $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard me right, not $18, not 1800, $1.8 million for a single penny. Today we are diving deep into one of the sneakiest, most valuable coins out there, the 1968 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that could literally make you a millionaire overnight. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's get ready to dig into this absolute legend of a coin. And oh yeah, stick around because I have a hilarious personal story about the time I almost threw away a coin worth a small fortune. True story, you're gonna want to hear this. So, most pennies from 1968 either have a little letter underneath the date, like a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, but if you find a 1968 penny with no letter at all, that means it was minted in good old Philadelphia. Now normally that wouldn't be such a big deal, except there is something very special about a teeny tiny group of these pennies. A tiny handful of 1968 no-mint mark pennies were struck in such a way or with such rare qualities that collectors today go absolutely bonkers for them, and when collectors go bonkers, you better believe the prices go through the roof. And right now the current market value for the rarest top quality 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is a mind-blowing $1.8 million. Yep, that is enough money to buy a house, a Tesla, and still have enough left over for lifetime supplies of tacos, or save it, invest it, live the dream, whatever floats your boat. Now let's talk about what makes these pennies so valuable. It's a combo of things. First, rarity. They made a ton of 1968 pennies, but only a super tiny number came out with perfect conditions or unique features like strong strikes, deep color, minimal wear, and sometimes doubled dies or other rare mint errors. Second, condition is king in the coin world. If your penny has been rattling around in a drawer with keys and rusty paper clips, sorry to say it's probably not worth $1 million, but if you happen to have one that looks fresh, sharp, with almost no scratches, you, my friend, could be sitting on a fortune. Third, demand. Coin collectors love the 1968 no mint mark penny because it's a perfect storm of history, rarity, and beauty. It's like finding a vintage Ferrari in someone's barn, only it's small, round, and coppery. And here's something fun: not every valuable penny looks fancy, some of them look just plain old boring. Which brings me to my personal story. So one afternoon I'm helping my grandpa clean out his garage. He had jars of pennies sitting around, so me being the nice grandkid I said, "Hey, Grandpa, let me sort through these, maybe we'll find something cool." He laughs and says, "Sure kid, if you find anything worth $1 million you can keep it." I sit there for what feels like hours sorting pennies, finding nothing special. Then boom, I spot this one penny. It looks old, a little darker than the others, and no mint mark on it. The date says 1968. Now I don't know what it was, maybe it was my Spider-Man coin, senses tingling, but something told me not to toss it back into the junk pile, so I put it in my pocket. Later checked it online and almost fell out of my chair when I saw what the top coins were going for. Spoiler alert, mine wasn't the $1 million one, it was worth about $5. Still, $5 is better than nothing, right? But the moral of the story is that you never know what treasure you have until you take a closer look. If I had just shrugged and thrown that coin back, I would have missed out completely. Okay, so now you're wondering, how can you find one of these $1 million beauties? Here's a quick checklist. First, check the date, make sure it says 1968, no little letter under the date. Second, check the condition. You want a penny that looks sharp with lots of detail, especially in Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks on the back if it's a wheat penny, or the memorial building if it's a memorial. Reverse. Third, look for errors. If you spot doubling on the words like Liberty or In God We Trust, or any funky looking features, that could be a good sign. Fourth, if you think you found something awesome, don't clean it. Seriously, do not polish it, don't scrub it, leave it exactly the way it is. Then take it to a professional coin dealer or submit it to a coin grading service to get it authenticated and graded. Did you know that the cost to make a penny today is actually more than a penny costs? Like the government literally loses money making money, so it's kinda poetic that a simple penny could turn around and make you rich. Also, fun fact, Abraham Lincoln was the first real person to ever appear on a US coin. Before that they only used symbolic figures like Lady Liberty. True story, they saved Lincoln for the big leagues because hey, when you're one of the greatest presidents you deserve your face on currency, right? Let's be real, coin collecting used to seem like something only old guys with magnifying glasses did, right? But now people of all ages are getting into it, and honestly it's one of the most exciting side hustles out there because it's cheap to start, anyone can do it, and sometimes you get lucky and find something life changing. Plus, it's kinda like treasure hunting, but without needing a pirate ship or a map covered in excess. Imagine going through your couch cushions or your car's cup holder and finding something worth more than your entire car. That is the magic of coins, my friend. Alright, so to wrap it all up, the 1968 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny might just be the coolest, sneakiest, most valuable penny you will ever come across. Keep your eyes peeled, look through your old jars, your junk drawers, your piggy banks. Because you never know, one little penny could turn into $1.8 million. If you enjoyed hanging out today, if you learned something new, if you laughed at my bad luck story, or if you're just excited to go dig through your old change, then smash that subscribe button. Join our community of treasure hunters, because every week I drop new videos showing you the coolest, most valuable coins out there and how you can spot them before they slip through your fingers. Hey! Welcome back, coin lovers! Now, I know what you're probably thinking: how in the world can a penny from 1989 be worth $1.1 million? Well, buckle up, because I've got one heck of a story for you today, and it's gonna blow your mind. Spoiler alert, it's not just any old penny, this one's got some serious value. If you've ever stared at your change jar thinking, I wonder if there's $1 million coin hiding in here, then today is your lucky day. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that could be worth a small fortune, and I'll tell you why. But before we get rolling, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future coin tips, tricks, and treasure hunts. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this. Alright, let's start with the basics. Most of us are familiar with the classic Lincoln penny. You know, the one with Abraham Lincoln's face. He's been gracing that little copper coin for decades. But here's where it gets interesting. In 1989, there was a tiny mistake, one that makes this particular penny worth a cool $1.10 million. 1989 was a pretty eventful year. The Berlin Wall fell, Seinfeld hit the airwaves, and most importantly, we got a mistruck coin. Yeah, you heard that right. This penny was minted without the usual mint mark that should have appeared on the reverse side. Now, most coins from that year should have had a mint mark. If you don't know what a mint mark is, it's that little letter on your coin that tells you where it was made, like the D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco. Normally, you'll find one of those on pennies, but not in 1989, and that's the magic. A penny with no mint mark? That's like finding a unicorn in your backyard, folks, but here's where it gets even more interesting. This error makes the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny a super rare find. If you were holding one of these coins in your hand, you could easily mistake it for a regular penny. But as soon as you get it graded, bam, that's when it skyrockets in value. Okay, now let's get to the juicy part, the value. You might be sitting there thinking, I have a 1989 penny. Is mine worth $1 million? Well, slow down there, buddy. Not all of them are worth that much. To really cash in, the penny needs to be in pristine condition, graded as a high-quality specimen like a MS66 or higher. If your 1989 penny has the right characteristics, no mint mark, perfect wear, and proper grading, you're looking at something worth around $1.1 million. Yeah, that's no typo. A penny worth a fortune. Now, let me tell you a quick story about my personal experience with a coin that I thought was just junk change. A few years ago, I was sifting through a box of pennies I inherited from my grandpa. Most of them were from the 60s and 70s, and I thought, not much here. But there was this one coin from 1943. Turns out, it was a steel penny, and I had no idea of its value. It wasn't worth $1.1 million, but I ended up selling it for a few $100. That's when I realized, never underestimate what could be hiding in your change jar. So, to sum it up, your 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be the ticket to a small fortune, but don't expect every single one you find to be worth $1 million. It's all about finding one in top condition and getting it graded. That little piece of paper, yes, that slab of plastic and certification from the grading companies, will tell you whether you've got something rare or just an everyday penny. Alright, now that you've got the 411 on the 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny, what are you gonna do next? Start scouring your change jar, right? And if you find one, I highly recommend getting it professionally graded, because a penny could go from meh to wow in the blink of an eye. And listen, folks, even if you don't find that $1 million penny today, remember, there's always a hidden gem somewhere. Coins are all around us, and sometimes, the next big discovery is just a penny away. So, don't give up on the hunt. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and of course, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome tips on coins worth money, strategies for finding treasure, and a few laughs along the way. You never know what rare coin might be lurking in your pockets. Trust me, I've learned that the hard way. Hey coin hunters and treasure seekers, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential fortune. Now let me hit you with a question. Have you ever accidentally dropped a penny, bent over to pick it up and thought, why am I even bothering? Well, what if I told you that one little penny sitting all lonely at the bottom of your couch cushions could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million? Yeah, you heard me right. Today we are talking about the legendary 2001 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's shaking up the coin world and making regular folks like you and me dream a little bigger. So grab your magnifying glass, your snack of choice, and settle in, because by the end of this video you are going to be itching to dig through your loose change. The 2001 Lincoln penny, usually minted in Philadelphia, comes with no mint mark at all, and usually that is no big deal because Philly coins normally skip the mint mark. But here is the kicker: a very small batch of 2001 pennies had some unusual characteristics. We are talking about ultra sharp details, silky smooth surfaces, and sometimes slight doubling on the design features like Lincoln's jacket or the word liberty. And collectors, oh boy, collectors go crazy for details like that, especially when it comes from a year where nobody expected anything fancy. Now you might be wondering, wait a minute, why is this random penny worth over $1 million? Great question, and the answer is a combo platter of rarity, condition, and collector demand. Imagine a super rare comic book, but instead of Spider-Man saving the day, it's Abraham Lincoln chillin' on a penny. One particular specimen, graded by top professionals as absolutely pristine, the kind of penny that looks like it just moonwalked off the mint floor, caught the attention of mega collectors and the bidding war went bananas, reaching a jaw-dropping $1.2 million at auction. One day I was visiting my grandma because, you know, free cookies and wisdom, and I was complaining about being broke, college kid problems. She laughed, disappeared for a minute, and came back with a giant pickle jar full of coins. She said, honey, there might be gold in there, metaphorically. Of course, I spent 3 hours sorting coins, eating way too many cookies, and getting progressively more dramatic every time I found a shiny penny. I thought I had struck it rich. Spoiler alert, I didn't find the 2001 no mint mark $1 million baby that day, but I did find a 1972 double die penny worth a couple $100. Not bad for a day fueled by sugar and blind optimism. Anyway, back to the main show. Key features to look for in the 2001 no mint mark Lincoln penny. No mint mark under the date, totally normal for Philly coins, but make sure it looks crisp, not all fuzzy and sad. Extremely clean, sharp strike, meaning all the tiny little details in Lincoln's face and clothes are crisp and visible, like he just sat for a fresh portrait. Look for a bright, almost proof-like shine, even though it was a circulation strike. Possible signs of doubling on letters like Liberty or In God We Trust. This can skyrocket the value if present. And remember, condition is everything. If your penny looks like it survived a tumble through a garbage disposal, collectors might not be too thrilled, but if it looks mint fresh, you might be sitting pretty. Step 1: get yourself a good magnifying glass or one of those little coin microscopes. They cost like $15 on Amazon, and trust me, it's worth it. Step 2: learn to love the lingo. Terms like MS67, MS68, and MS69 are grades given to coins, and the higher the number, the closer you are to payday. Step 3: if you spot a beauty, send it off to a reputable coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and give it an official grade. The higher the grade, the higher the payday. Alright, let's be real, you're more likely to find a quarter with a bite mark from your dog than the perfect 2001 no mint mark penny. But hey, someone has to get lucky, right? Think about it, it's like the lottery, but you don't have to spend money, just dig through your pocket change, maybe even offer to sort your friends' coins for them under the guise of being helpful and opportunistic. The American Dream. Other 2001 penny errors to watch for while you're hunting for the big one. There are other error coins from 2001 worth hundreds, even thousands. Off center strikes where the design is all wonky, double dies where everything looks like you were seeing double without the tequila die, cracks that look like tiny veins across the coin face. All these can bring in extra cash, and honestly, every little win is a big win in the world of coin collecting. Always handle coins by the edges, because your gross greasy fingers can lower the value faster than you can say oops. Store them in soft coin flips or holders that are acid free. Keep your finds out of sunlight, heat, and humidity, because nothing says heartbreak like finding out your $1 million penny now looks like it spent the summer in a sauna. Did you know there are more Lincoln pennies than people on the planet? Yeah, imagine if each one were worth $1, we would all be billionaires with pennies raining from the sky. And did you know the original penny portrait of Lincoln was the first time a real human appeared on a regular American coin? Up till then it was all Lady Liberty wearing various fashionable hats. Lincoln broke the streak. He is a trendsetter even from beyond the grave. The 2001 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny might just be the little copper hero hiding in your pocket change, just waiting to change your life. Will you find one? Maybe not, but the hunt itself is half the fun, and hey, you might just discover other hidden gems along the way. So next time someone laughs at you for digging through a pile of pennies, just smile and say, I'm investing in my future, buddy. If you enjoyed this video, had a few laughs, and learned something new, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips, tricks, and downright wild stories about coins worth money. New videos drop every week and you don't want to miss out, because who knows, the next fortune could be just a penny away. Hey, welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins that could literally change your life faster than finding 20 bucks in an old jacket pocket. Today we are diving into a coin that is so recent you might just have it jangling around in your couch cushions right now. I am talking about the 2021 Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, that shiny little guy you probably used to pay for gum could actually be worth up to $1.3 million today. Yeah, you heard that right, not 1,000, not 100,000, but over $1 million for a penny minted just a few years ago. So before you go tossing your change into the nearest wishing fountain, maybe hang tight and let's figure out if you are literally sitting on a fortune. Stick around because I am gonna break down everything you need to know about this coin, including how to spot a valuable one, what makes it so dang special, and of course how you can cash in if you find one. The D stands for Denver, where it was minted, and on the surface it looks pretty much like any other Lincoln penny. Good ol' honest Abe chilling on the front, the Union shield on the back, nothing too crazy, right? Hidden among the millions of these pennies minted there are a few rare varieties and errors that have collectors absolutely losing their minds, and when collectors lose their minds you lose your bills and start stacking $100 bills instead. So what makes the 2021 D penny worth a staggering $1.3 million? It all comes down to a combination of rare minting errors, pristine condition, and what collectors call eye appeal. Now before you run off and grab every 2021 penny you can find, hang tight because we are going to talk about exactly what to look for. First, you want to check for what is called a double die error. Basically this happens when the coin design gets stamped twice but just slightly off, creating a sort of shadow effect on the lettering and design. It is like your coin had a rough Monday morning too. If you see doubling, especially on the words Liberty or In God We Trust, or even on the date itself, that is a huge red flag in a good way. Second, you want to look for off-center strikes. If your penny looks like it was printed while the machine operator sneezed mid-push, congratulations, that misalignment could make it super valuable. Collectors are absolutely obsessed with finding coins in mint state condition, meaning they look basically brand new, no scratches, no weird stains, no signs you used it to scratch off a lottery ticket. Coins graded MS67 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC can fetch huge bucks, and if you combine a rare error with a high grade, that is where you hit the jackpot. And I am not talking about a free Slurpee at 7-Eleven jackpot, I am talking real life, buy a yacht and name it Penny Lane jackpot. Alright, so you are probably wondering how many of these golden ticket pennies exist. Well, they are rare, but they are out there. Reports suggest that only a handful have been found in pristine condition with those crucial errors, which is why they command such insane prices on the market. Just last year one of these bad boys sold for over $1.3 million at auction. Imagine the auctioneer trying to keep a straight face while someone bid seven figures on a penny. I bet even Abraham Lincoln was ghost clapping somewhere, proud and slightly confused. A few months ago I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. He had jars and jars of old coins, you know the kind of scene where you expect to find a treasure map under a pile of 1997 baseball cards. We were just about to dump them into one of those Coinstar machines when I thought, wait, maybe, just maybe, there is something good here. And sure enough, mixed in with the boring modern coins, I pulled out a 2021 D penny with a weird doubling on the date. I about lost my mind right there, surrounded by dusty fishing rods and lawn chairs from the 80s. I sent it off to get graded because hey, why not, right? And while it did not turn out to be the $1 million variety, it's still graded high enough to fetch a few $100. Not bad for something that was literally sitting under an old pizza coupon. Moral of the story: never underestimate your spare change. How do you find one of these $1 million pennies? Start checking your pocket change like it is a full-time job. Get a cheap magnifying glass or one of those little jeweler's loupes you can find online for like $10 and start inspecting every 2021 D penny you come across. Look for doubling, look for off-centers, look for coins that are so shiny they practically glow, and if you think you have a winner, send it off to be professionally graded. Yeah, it costs a little bit, but if your coin is the real deal, that tiny investment could turn into a life-changing payday. Now if you are serious about hunting these treasures, it helps to understand the market too. Coin collectors are a passionate bunch, and auctions for rare coins can get real wild real fast. Prices swing depending on how many coins are available, how bad collectors want it, and how many rich people are feeling nostalgic that month. But the 2021 D penny with the right combo of errors and condition is a certified superstar in the coin world right now. And remember, just because it is a modern coin does not mean it is not valuable. Some people only focus on super old coins, but the reality is modern mint errors, especially in top condition, are like catching lightning in a bottle. If you get one, hold on tight because the value could even climb higher over time. Alright, let's do a quick lightning round. 3 quick tips for finding valuable 2021 D pennies. 1. Always check the date and mint mark carefully. Doubling can be sneaky. 2. Inspect both sides. Errors can happen on either front or back. 3. Never assume a coin is junk just because it looks boring at first glance. Sometimes the rarest treasures were the most boring disguises, kind of like Clark Kent. If Clark Kent was worth $1 million instead of just a pair of Broken glasses. So there you have it, the 2021 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny might just be the little copper hero that rescues your bank account next time you get change back from the grocery store or find some coins rattling around in the bottom of your car. Remember, you could be holding a tiny millionaire in your hand. It only takes one coin, one error, and one moment of curiosity to completely change your financial future. And hey, even if you do not find $1 million penny today, you are at least one step closer to being the most interesting person at the next family barbecue. Imagine casually dropping, "Hey, did you know I am hunting for $1 million penny," while your cousin brags about his fantasy football league. If you found this video helpful, if you laughed even once, or if you are now squinting suspiciously at every penny you own, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I post tips, tricks, and stories about coins worth crazy money, and trust me, you do not want to miss the next one. Also, smash that like button like you are smashing open a jar of change you forgot about. Drop a comment below if you have ever found a weird coin, or if you are gonna start hunting after watching this. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where your spare change could literally change your life. Today we are diving deep into one very shiny jackpot hiding in plain sight, the 1973 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, a single little brown coin that could be worth up to $1.4 million right now. $1.4 million for a penny. Let that sink in for a second now before you sprint to your couch cushions and crack open your dusty old piggy bank. Stick around, because today I am breaking down why this 1973 D Lincoln penny is such a big deal, how you can spot one, what makes it valuable, and a hilarious personal story about the time I thought I found one. Spoiler alert, it did not exactly end in a private island purchase, so grab a snack, buckle up, and let us dive in. Alright, so first things first, what is the deal with the 1973 D Lincoln penny? Well, in 1973 the Denver Mint produced millions, and I mean millions, of pennies, but a teeny tiny handful of them were made with a crazy rare error in super high quality condition. We are talking about pennies that somehow managed to survive the last 50 plus years without getting scratched, dinged, or lost in couch voids across America. Now, when it comes to coin collecting, condition is king. In 1973 D Lincoln penny in regular beat up condition is worth about exactly 1 cent, maybe 2 cents if you find someone feeling generous. But a 1973 D penny in flawless mint state, perfect shiny red brown glory with no scratches or bag marks, while it, my friends, can fetch you a whopping $1.4 million at auction today. That is right, if you have a perfect one, you are basically sitting on a tiny copper lottery ticket. Now you might be wondering, how in the world can a single penny be worth that much? Great question. There are a few reasons why. First, rarity. There are only a handful of these pennies in super high mint condition. Second, demand. Collectors absolutely lose their minds over coins that are rare and in perfect shape. And third, errors. Some of these 1973 D pennies have slight mint errors like off-centered strikes, double dies, or crazy things happening with the D Mint mark itself. Quick tip: if you have a 1973 D penny at home, grab a magnifying glass and look closely. Check if the D Mint mark looks weird or doubled, or if the coin itself looks unusually sharp, shiny, and detailed compared to your average beat-up penny from your change jar. That could be your first clue. Now let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the jackpot. Picture this: I am helping my grandma clean out her garage, and we find this old coffee tin packed with pennies. I am talking about a mountain of copper coins like pirate treasure for broke college kids. I start flipping through them, and bam, there it was, a 1973 D staring back at me. I swear I heard angels singing in the background. I run inside, hop on my laptop, and start Googling faster than I have ever Googled before. $1.4 million, baby. I was already planning my vacation to a beach where they serve drinks inside actual coconuts. But then reality slapped me harder than my mom did when I broke her favorite vase. Turns out my 1973 D was so scratched up it looked like it had been used to carve someone's initials into a middle school desk. It was worth exactly 1 cent. Moral of the story: always check the condition. Condition is everything. Another quick side note: if you are serious about checking your pennies, it might be worth investing in a simple coin scale and a basic microscope. You can pick them up pretty cheap online, and trust me, it beats squinting at tiny numbers and trying to convince yourself that yes, maybe, just maybe, your penny is glowing with $1 million magic. So there you have it, folks, the magical $1 million mystery of the 1973 D Lincoln penny, a coin you have probably seen 100 times without realizing you were staring at your future yacht money in copper form. Remember, condition, rarity, and weird mint errors are your 3 best friends when it comes to spotting valuable coins. If you enjoyed hanging out today, learned something new, or just want to hear more about crazy coins that can make you rich, hit that subscribe button right now. We have tons more tips, strategies, and hilarious personal fails coming your way, because let us be real, the road to finding treasure is paved with a lot of funny mistakes and a few glorious wins. Thanks for watching, and remember, your next $1 million might just be hiding under your couch cushions. See you next time. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into big change. If you love money history or just the idea of finding $1 million in your junk drawer, you are absolutely in the right place. Today we are diving into a coin that might just be hiding in your old coin jar collecting dust. I'm talking about the legendary, the sneaky, the no mint mark 1986 Abraham Lincoln penny. That's right folks, a tiny little copper piece that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Let me say that again, one penny, $1.5 million. Imagine explaining that at a garage sale, so stick around because today we're breaking down everything you need to know about this little hidden treasure, its wild story, why it's worth a fortune, and how you can spot one yourself. Plus I'm sharing a hilarious personal story involving a very bad decision I made with a penny when I was a kid. Spoiler alert, it involved a vending machine and a whole lot of regret. The 1986 no mint Mark Lincoln penny looks like your everyday coin. You see Abraham Lincoln's face, you flip it over, there's the Lincoln Memorial. Nothing fancy, right? Wrong. The magic is in the details. You see, most coins from 1986 were made either in Denver with a little D mint mark or in Philadelphia, which usually didn't put a mint mark at all, so no mint mark on a 1986 penny is pretty normal for Philly coins. Most 1986 Philadelphia pennies were struck with the modern copper-plated zinc composition. They weigh about 2.5 grams. However, a few crazy rare 1986 pennies were accidentally struck using the old 95% copper planchets. You know, the heavier copper coins from before 1982. These super rare 1986 copper pennies are heavier, about 3.1 grams, and because so few exist, collectors go absolutely bananas over them. If you find one in mint condition, well buddy, you might as well start planning your yacht party, because that little copper disc could fetch you a smooth $1.5 million in today's market. Now if you're wondering how can I tell if I have the $1 million baby, good question friend. First, get a simple digital scale at home. You want one that measures grams very accurately. Take your 1986 penny and weigh it. If it weighs around 2.5 grams, sorry, it's the regular one, but if it weighs closer to 3.1 grams, you might be holding a fortune in your fingers. And remember, condition matters. A beat up $1 million penny might still be worth a small fortune, but a shiny mint state one, that's where the serious money is. Now, speaking of mistakes and pennies, let me tell you a little story. When I was about 9 years old, I had this old jar of coins. I'd collect anything shiny my grandpa would give me. I thought I was a coin collecting king. One day I found this beautiful old penny. It looked different, heavier somehow, and guess what my genius 9-year-old self did with it? Yep, I used it to buy a pack of gum at the vending machine right outside the grocery store. I traded what could have been $1 million coin for some stale bubblegum that lost flavor in 3 chews. I still have dreams about that stupid vending machine to this day. Moral of the story, check your change before you feed it to a snack machine. People, anyway, back to our 1986 no mint mark. Wonder if you find one and think you hit the jackpot. You should definitely get it graded by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. Their authentication is key, because let's face it, no buyer is handing over $1.5 million on just your say so. You can submit the coin for grading. It costs a little bit, but hey, spending $50 to potentially make $1.5 million, not a bad investment if you ask me. Also, quick tip when searching through pennies, don't skip the ugly ones. Sometimes the most valuable coins are the ones people overlook because they don't sparkle like the new ones. Dirty penny equals potential jackpot. Remember that. Another cool thing about this 1986 no mint mark penny is it's part of a bigger pattern in coin collecting where mistakes and oddities are what make coins worth crazy amounts. It's like the more the mint screws up, the more you cash in. Makes you wonder if those workers back then did it on purpose to hook us up generations later. If so, thank you, mysterious mint employee. We owe you. The 1986 no mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that tiny things can hold massive value. Always check your change, always weigh your coins, and never ever trade something cool looking for vending machine gum. Trust me, if you have a 1986 penny lying around, take a few minutes to weigh it. You might just have $1 million story in your hands, and if not, hey, at least you're getting smarter every day, and that's worth something too. Right before you rush off to raid your piggy banks, do me a solid, smash that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, and ring that bell so you never miss a chance to learn how your pocket change could turn into life-changing money. We're on a mission to find hidden treasures, and you definitely want to be along for the ride. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, next time you drop a penny on the ground, maybe pick it up. It might just be worth $1 million. Hey there, fellow treasure hunters and penny pinchers, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into pure gold. Well, not literally gold, but sometimes pretty dang close. I'm your host, and today we are diving deep into a little copper coin that could change your life forever. Yep, I'm talking about the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin so sneaky and so special that it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million today. You heard that right, one tiny unassuming penny could literally pay off your house, buy you a fleet of Teslas, and still leave enough change for a lifetime supply of tacos. So if you're the type who throws your pennies into a jar without a second thought, you might want to listen up. Today we're gonna chat about how this coin became so valuable, how to spot one, and I'll even share a little personal story about how I almost threw away a small fortune because I wasn't paying attention. Spoiler alert, it still hurts. Alright, so let's start with a little background on our Friend Honest Abe and his famous penny in 1982. Something kinda weird happened at the US Mint. They were switching the composition of pennies from good old heavy copper to cheaper lighter zinc because saving money was the vibe of the 80s, but during this transition there were a whole bunch of changes and errors. Some pennies were struck on copper planchet, some on zinc, some weighed more, some weighed less, and in the middle of this chaotic mess a very special batch slipped through the cracks. The 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny struck in pure copper, and it wasn't supposed to happen. And today if you find one that matches all the right criteria, well, let's just say you're sitting on a retirement plan that fits in your pocket. Now you're probably wondering, how the heck do you tell if you have a millionaire penny? Well, first step, check the date. Obviously it's gotta say 1982, then flip it over and see if there's a little letter under the date. No mint mark, no D, no S, nada. If there's a mint mark, sorry, it's not the big money coin, but hey, it's still a penny and we don't discriminate here. Next, the weight is super important. This is where it gets real nerdy, but bear with me. A copper penny weighs about 3.1 grams, a zinc penny weighs about 2.5 grams, so you're gonna need a little digital scale. You can get one online for like $10, totally worth it if you ask me. If you plop your 1982 no mint mark penny on the scale and it reads around 3.1 grams, you might just have a golden ticket disguised as a boring brown coin. But wait, there's more, because not every heavy 1982 penny is the jackpot. It also needs to have sharp, clear details, good luster, no major scratches or dents. The nicer the condition, the higher the value. Collectors love shiny things just like raccoons. Now let me tell you a quick personal story about why this matters. Picture it, it's 2015, I'm broke, I'm cleaning out my car and I find a handful of dirty coins crushed under the seat. I'm like, cool, laundry money. I go into the coin machine at the grocery store and just dump it all in. Clink, 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 goodbye coins, hello, $11. Fast forward a few months, I'm watching a video just like this one and they start talking about the 1982 no mint mark penny. My stomach drops. I think back and realize I had a ton of 1982 pennies. I even remember noticing how heavy one of them felt because it nearly slipped out of my hand. He had unknowingly fed a potential $1 million penny to a Coinstar machine for 11 crummy bucks. I'm not saying I cried, but let's just say onions were chopped that day. The moral of the story: pay attention to your change, folks, and maybe keep a little magnifying glass handy. You never know what treasure is hiding in plain sight. Back to business, let's talk about the market value today. In 2025, a verified 1982 no mint mark copper penny has sold for as much as $1.6 million at auction. I mean, can you even imagine calling your boss and quitting because a 1-cent coin saved your whole life goals? Right, the best part, you don't have to be some professional coin dealer to find one. These pennies are literally still out there, hiding in coin jars, in old desk drawers, under couch cushions, maybe even in that weird junk drawer everybody has where you keep batteries, rubber bands, and like 3 expired coupons. The thing is, people overlook pennies because they seem worthless, but in the world of numismatics, that's fancy speak for coin collecting. One man's junk is another man's $1.6 million treasure. Now I know some of you might be wondering how realistic it is to actually find one. Is it like winning the lottery? Well, kinda yeah, but here's the thing, checking costs you nothing. It's literally free to look. You don't need fancy equipment, just to scale and some patience. It's like playing the lottery, but you don't have to buy a ticket. And hey, even if you don't find the penny, you might stumble across other valuable coins like double die pennies, repunched mint mark pennies, or even some silver nickels that are worth way more than face value. Free money just lying around, don't leave it there. Alright friends, to sum it up, the 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be the ultimate hidden treasure right in your own pocket. If you find one in copper weighing about 3.1 grams, you might just be the next person cashing in for a cool $1.6 million. So go grab that coin jar, go check grandma's old coin purse, raid the couch cushions, heck, check the bottom of your washing machine. For all I care, opportunity is literally lying around everywhere. And if you love the idea of making serious money off spare change, then you gotta hit that subscribe button right now. Smash that like button while you're at it and turn on notifications so you never miss a tip on the next coin that could turn you into a millionaire. Trust me, you don't want to be the person who says, oh man, I wish I had checked my coins earlier. Speaking from experience here. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you have ever thought that the pennies rattling around in your couch cushions might just be hiding a little treasure, you are going to want to stick around today, because we are talking about a coin that could literally change your life. Imagine finding a tiny brown coin in your pocket when you almost threw in the tip jar at your local coffee shop, only to discover it is worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. I am serious, not a typo, not a drill. Today we are diving into the amazing world of the 1970 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Trust me, you do not want to miss a second of this, because by the end you might just be running to check your loose change stash like a pirate hunting for gold. Alright, so first things first, what makes the 1970 D Lincoln penny so special? Well, besides the fact that it has Abe Lincoln looking absolutely dapper on the front, this coin has a few secret ingredients that make collectors go totally bananas. Now When we talk about the D mint mark, that just means this particular penny was minted in Denver. It is like the birthplace tag of coins, kinda like how your jeans say made in USA or sometimes made in some place you cannot pronounce. Well, the D matters big time here. What makes this coin worth $1.7 million, though it is all about errors and rarity. You see, the 1970 D penny has some versions where the date and other details were doubled when they stamped the coin. That is called a doubled die error. Sounds like a mistake at first, but guess what? In the world of coins, mistakes are money. Literally, there are also some that were struck on the wrong metal planchet, meaning they used the wrong kind of coin. Blank oops, but that oops can mean a fortune for you. Now, before you start screaming and flipping every penny in your wallet, hold up, there are a few things you gotta look for. First, check the D mint mark, make sure it is nice and crisp, not sloppy. Then, you want to look at the date. If the numbers look thick, weird, or like they are overlapping, you might have yourself a doubled die. And finally, if the penny feels a little lighter or heavier than normal or just kinda weird, it might have been struck on the wrong material. Okay, quick story time. So a few years ago I was at a garage sale digging through an old dusty box of random coins and bottle caps because apparently I have no life, and this old dude comes up and says, "Hey kid, you like old junk?" I laugh and say, "Only if it is secretly worth millions." He chuckles and tosses me a handful of old pennies. I shove them in my pocket and totally forget about them. Fast forward a week, I am doing laundry and find those coins in the washing machine soaking wet. I start looking at them and bam, I spot a 1970 D penny. My heart almost explodes. I grab my magnifying glass like some wannabe Sherlock Holmes and I am sweating bullets. Turns out it was just a regular 1970 D penny, not the rare one, but man, for those 5 minutes I was already mentally shopping for yachts and private islands. Moral of the story: check every penny, you never know. Back to the facts. Currently, if you find a rare 1970 D Lincoln penny in pristine mint condition, we are talking about the kind of coin you would want to frame and hang over your fireplace. It could sell for up to $1.7 million at auction. Even coins in less than perfect shape can snag you a few hundred or $1,000, which in my book is still a major win. I mean, who would not want to turn 1 cent into $1,000, right? Collectors and auction houses are absolutely obsessed with this penny right now, especially as coin collecting has gotten even more popular in the last few years. It is like Bitcoin but way shinier, and you can actually hold it in your hand. And remember, coin value depends on several things like the grade, rarity, eye appeal, and overall condition. Even little things like scratches or fingerprints can lower the value. So if you find a suspiciously interesting penny, handle it like it is made of glass. Maybe even wear gloves, or at least do not eat a greasy burger before touching it. Alright folks, to sum it up, the 1970 D Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes tiny things can be worth a giant fortune. Between rare errors and high demand in the coin world, you might literally have a mini jackpot hiding under your couch or in your car cup holder. So here is your game plan after watching this video. Dig through your change jar, check your junk drawers, and yes, even your laundry piles. Pay close attention to your pennies from 1970 with that little D under the date, because that one lonely cent might just be your ticket to a 7-figure payday. If you enjoyed hanging out today and want more tips on coins that could be secretly worth a ton, plus strategies to spot winners and turn pocket change into serious cash, make sure you smash that subscribe button, tap that notification bell so you do not miss any of our upcoming treasure hunts. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential treasure maps. If you are new here, buckle up, because today we are diving deep into a penny, and not just any penny. I am talking about the 2004 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And guess what? This tiny little coin could be worth a jaw-dropping, heart-stopping, mind-blowing $18 million. Yep, you heard that right, 1.8 million. A penny turning into a millionaire move. Now, if that does not make you check your couch cushions after this video, I do not know what will. Alright, so let us kick things off with a little backstory. You see, the 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a bit of a unicorn in the world of coins. Most of the time, pennies from 2004 are pretty ordinary. You spend them on gum, you toss them in tip jars, you find them chilling in parking lots, but every once in a while something magical happens. A few of these bad boys were struck with such pristine conditions or had such rare errors that collectors start throwing around money like it is Monopoly cash, and that is how we end up talking about a penny that could pay off your house, buy you a yacht, and still leave you with enough cash to buy a lifetime supply of tacos. Now, some of you might be thinking, hold up, no mint mark, what does that even mean? Well, sit tight, because here comes the nerdy part. Mint marks are those little tiny letters you usually see under the date on coins, like a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But when there is no mint mark, it typically means it was made at the Philadelphia Mint. But not all no mint mark pennies are valuable. In fact, most are just regular run-of-the-mill pennies. Worth, well, a penny the 2004 no mint mark that is worth big bucks usually has something extra special about it, like a dramatic die crack, double die obverse, or some insane mint error that makes it a true 1 in a million, or should I say 1 in 18 million. Fine, quick personal story here. So a few years back I was helping my grandma Clean out her attic, you know, the usual boxes of photos, some weird old Christmas decorations, and a shoebox full of pennies. I mean, a whole shoebox. She says, "Oh, you can have those, sweetie, they are just junk." Well, let me tell you, I spent 3 hours sitting on the floor surrounded by dust and probably 3 kinds of spiders just sorting through them. Turns out there was nothing wild in there, but it did teach me an important lesson: never underestimate the power of a forgotten penny. That little shoebox may not have had a $18 million coin, but it definitely sparked my love for coin collecting, so thanks, Grandma, and sorry about the dust storm I left behind. Back to the 2004 Lincoln penny. Now, what makes some of these worth the serious cash comes down to condition, rarity, and the wild world of coin grading. If you have got a penny in mint state 67 or higher, well, buddy, you might just be sitting on a gold mine. Not literally, but you get the idea. These high-grade coins look practically flawless, like they were just minted yesterday, super shiny, no nicks, no scratches, and definitely no signs they spent time rattling around in a junk drawer. Now, here is the crazy thing: because pennies are used and abused, thrown in jars, tossed across rooms, and even used to scratch off lottery tickets, finding one in that kind of pristine shape is like finding a unicorn in your backyard wearing sunglasses and sipping a pina colada. It just does not happen often. That is why collectors lose their minds over these, and that is why auction houses have seen bids climb up into the millions for the right 2004 penny. And let us not forget errors. Errors are like the backstage pass to coin collecting heaven. Maybe your penny has a double ear on Lincoln, or a super dramatic die clash, or maybe it was struck off center. Whatever the error, collectors love them and they are willing to pay big money for them. So how do you know if you are holding a potential jackpot in your hand? Easy. Well, actually not easy, but doable. First, get yourself a good magnifying glass and take a real close look. Check for any signs of doubling around the date or letters. Look for weird cracks, raised lines, weird blobs, anything that screams, "Hey, I am not like the others." And of course, you will want to get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, because having that official certification can make or break your payday. Also, fun fact: I once thought I found a super valuable error coin because it looked crazy weird under my kitchen light. Turns out I had just smeared peanut butter on it. Yeah, rookie mistake. So pro tip: make sure your coin is clean and free from lunchtime leftovers before you start dreaming of millions. Alright, let us talk about the current market value of these bad boys right now. As of today, a verified high-grade 2004 no mint mark Lincoln penny can fetch around $18 million at auction. That is right, 18 million, not 18,000, not 180,000. We are talking mega money. And even if yours is not a perfect mint state, if it has a cool error or is in really good shape, it could still be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars, which last time I checked is a heck of a lot better than 1 cent. Now, why are these values so insane? It is all about demand, rarity, and the fact that collectors are constantly hunting for the next big find. Some people treat coin collecting like an extreme sport, and honestly, I kind of get it. There is something incredibly satisfying about the idea that your spare change could change your life. So, moral of the story, folks: check your pockets, check your couch, check that random coffee can in the garage. Your $1 million moment could be hiding right under your nose. And do not just eyeball your pennies like, "Yeah, looks normal to me." Actually take the time, get a magnifier, look close, maybe even get a little nerdy with it, because nerds are the ones finding the treasure. Trust me. Before I wrap up, let me just say this: if you enjoyed hanging out today, if you got a laugh or learned something new, or if you were already halfway to flipping your mattress looking for coins, do me a favor, smash that subscribe button. Like, seriously, smash it. Give it a gentle, loving smash if you are more of a peaceful soul, because we have got a ton more tips, tricks, and treasure hunts coming your way every week. We are diving into coins that could turn your loose change into luxury. And hey, even if you do not find a $1 million penny, it is still a pretty awesome adventure, right? Plus, who would not want to be the person at parties who can say, "Actually, I am a professional treasure hunter in my spare time"? Pretty cool title if you ask me. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Happy hunting, and I will catch you next time on the channel where every penny counts. See you soon, and remember, fortune favors the bold and the nerdy. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we turn your pocket change into life-changing riches. Today we are diving headfirst into a crazy story about a tiny copper coin that could make you a millionaire. Yeah, you heard me right, I am talking about the 1998 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, currently valued at a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Now, before you start flipping your couch cushions upside down, hear me out, because I am about to tell you everything you need to know about this hidden treasure, how you can spot one, and why you might just be one penny away from quitting your day job. Trust me, you are gonna want to stick around for this one, because by the end of this video you are gonna be checking every single penny you come across, even the ones you find stuck to the bottom of your shoe. So first things first, what is the deal with the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny? Now, for those of you who are new to the coin world, let me break it down real simple. Most US coins are stamped with a little letter called a mint mark to show where they were made, like P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, S for San Francisco. You get the idea. But in 1998 something weird happened. Some Lincoln pennies rolled off the presses without any mint mark at all. No little letter, nada, just Lincoln's face looking all serious as usual, but missing that tiny detail. Now you might be thinking, come on, how big of a deal could that possibly be? Well, friend, it turns out it is a massive deal, because those no mint mark 1998 Pennies are ridiculously rare and collectors will practically wrestle you to the ground to get their hands on one. I am talking about a penny that just sold for a mind-blowing $1.1 million. Yeah, million with an man, get this, it was not even found in some secret vault or museum. Nope, it was found by a regular guy sorting through his old coin jar in his garage. You know, the same way most of us spend our Saturday afternoons, avoiding real responsibilities. A few years ago I had this huge jar of coins in my kitchen, right? It was basically the catch-all for spare change, receipts, gum wrappers, you name it. One day I decided, hey, why not cash it in at the grocery store? But being the cheap thrill seeker that I am, I thought maybe, just maybe, I should take a quick peek at the pennies first. And there it was, not $1 million penny, mind you, but I did find a 1943 steel penny worth about $200. Not bad for something that was just sitting there next to a coupon for 50 cents off frozen pizza. Moral of the story: always check your change, you never know what hidden gold you might find. Back to the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny. How can you spot one? First, you want to flip it over and check under the date. If there is no little letter like a D or an S, you might be onto something. Now, do not start popping champagne just yet, because tons of pennies have no mint mark and are totally normal, especially from Philadelphia. The key with the 1998 no mint mark is that these coins show a very distinct sharpness in their design. They have crisp details, especially around Lincoln's coat and the lettering, and they are usually struck on premium planchets, meaning the penny looks shinier and a bit more polished than the usual beat-up pocket coins. If you think you have won, the best move is to get it graded by a professional like PCGS or NGC, because a coin like that in pristine mint state condition, that is where the real money starts rolling. In condition is everything, folks. If your penny looks like it went through a blender, sadly it will not fetch that $1 million payday, but a super clean, sharp, detailed 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Oh baby, that is your golden ticket. Collectors absolutely lose their minds over error coins and rare varieties. The weirder the better, and when there are only a handful of 1998 no mint mark pennies out there, especially ones in high grade, you can bet your last regular penny that the price is gonna skyrocket. And let's be real, we all love a good treasure hunt. It taps into that primal human instinct that says somewhere out there hidden among the junk is a fortune just waiting to be found. And honestly, it is way more fun than playing the lottery. At least with coins you can hold your investment in your hand and maybe even buy a candy bar while you are at it. Alright, so if you are serious about finding one of these bad boys, here is what you gotta do. Start by digging through your change jars, your piggy banks, even the junk drawers. You know, the one with the 10-year-old batteries and that weird key you are afraid to throw away just in case it unlocks something important. Check every single 1998 penny you come across, and remember, you are looking for no mint mark, clean, sharp details, and a little extra shine. You can also hit up coin shops, flea markets, estate sales. Sometimes people have no idea what they are selling, and you can snag a valuable penny for next to nothing. And hey, even if you do not find the $1 million jackpot, you are still gonna come away with a killer coin collection and probably some pretty wild stories, like that time you argued with a flea market guy over a 3-cent price difference. Trust me, it happens. So there you have it, the 1998 no mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny little copper disc that could turn you into a millionaire overnight. It is rare, it is valuable, and it might just be hiding in your couch right now. If you had fun today, if you learned something new, or if you are currently flipping over your coffee table searching for loose change, then do me a solid, hit that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, and ring that little bell so you do not miss any of my future videos packed with tips, tricks, and stories on finding coins worth serious money. Trust me, you do not want to miss it. We have got more treasure hunting adventures coming your way, and who knows, maybe next time it will be your coin we are talking about. Hey, you ever find a penny lying around and think, ugh, just another coin I'll toss into the jar, right? I used to do that too, until I realized, wait a second, there might be more to these little guys than I ever imagined. Some of these pennies, they're not just worth 1 cent. They could be worth a whole lot more. And today, I've got a penny that might just blow your mind, the 1977 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. A coin that could be worth up to $1.2 million. Yes, $1.2 million. So stick around, because if you've got one of these hidden in a drawer somewhere, you're about to learn something that could change your coin collecting game forever. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1977 penny, just like millions of others that were minted that year, seems pretty ordinary, right? I mean, it's just another Lincoln penny that came out of the US Mint. But, and here's the catch, it's not the year that makes this penny special. Nope, it's the fact that this one doesn't have a mint mark. That's right, this little guy was produced without a mint mark, which isn't something you see every day. Normally, you'd find a letter like D or S on the coin, indicating where it was made, either Denver or San Francisco. But this one? Nada. No mint mark. And that's what makes it so rare. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny with no mint mark? That sounds like a mistake. Why would that be worth anything at all? Well, here's the deal. That mistake actually makes it a collector's dream. You see, when the US Mint produces coins, they usually mint them in bulk at different locations, and they stamp them with a mint mark to show where they were made. But every so often, a batch gets produced without the mint mark. In most cases, these coins go unnoticed, but every now and then, they make their way into circulation and get noticed by collectors. And that's how you end up with a penny worth $1.2 million. Imagine this for a second. You're walking down the street, you spot a penny, and you pick it up. You think, oh, a penny, then, you get home, take a closer look, and boom, there's no mint mark. That's when you do the biggest double take of your life. It's like winning the lottery without even realizing you had a ticket. I'll be honest, I've had some pretty hilarious moments with coins. There was this one time I thought I found a rare silver quarter in my change. I was so excited, I rushed home and Googled silver quarter value. Turns out, it was just a regular 1990s quarter, but hey, at least I got a laugh out of it. I'm sure some of you can relate to that feeling of thinking you found something special, only to realize it's not a 1977 no mint mark penny. The value of these is tied to their rarity. Most pennies from 1977 will have a mint mark, and finding one without it is like discovering a hidden gem. These coins are so rare that when they show up on auction sites or in private collections, they can fetch around $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. That small piece of copper, worth 1 cent when it was first released, could now be worth millions. And let me tell you, if you're lucky enough to find one of these pennies in your collection, it's a game changer. Now, I know you're wondering, how do I know if I've got one? Good question. The first thing you want to do is check for that missing mint mark. Look at the reverse side of the coin, there should be a tiny letter D or S beneath the date. If it's completely blank, that's the one. Now, don't go getting too excited just yet. You want to check the condition of the coin too. A penny that's in great shape, with little wear and tear, will fetch more than a worn-out one. So, check the details like Lincoln's face and the date. If they look crisp and clean, you're in good shape. But let's be real for a second. Finding a 1977 no mint mark penny in mint condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. So, if you think you've got one of these, be sure to have it appraised by a professional. They can help determine whether it's a genuine minting error or just a regular penny with a little bit of dirt or damage. And here's a little pro tip from me: if you ever find yourself with a coin that's worth millions, don't go out there telling everyone, hey, look at this penny. Keep it on the down low until you know its full value. You'd be surprised how many people will try to help you with your newfound fortune, if you catch my drift. So, to wrap it up, the 1977 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny isn't just your average penny. It's a rare and valuable piece of US history, and if you happen to find one, you could be holding on to a $1.2 million coin. And hey, if you've ever wondered how to spot valuable coins in your collection, or just want to learn more about coins worth big bucks, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Because I'll be bringing you more tips, tricks, and strategies on how to find coins that could change your life. Hey there, coin lovers! Ever look at your pocket change and wonder if that crumpled penny might be worth more than your lunch? Well, if you've got a 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny lying around, you might just want to double check, because this little coin is worth a whopping $1.3 million. Yep, you heard that right, $1.3 million. That's more than my entire rent for the next 10 years combined. So stick around, because today we're diving into why this seemingly ordinary penny could be your ticket to the big time. Now, before you go rummaging through your change jar and tossing out every 1988 penny you find, let me break it down for you. Not every 1988 penny is worth that much, but the ones that are, well, they're definitely worth your time. So grab a seat, maybe a snack, and let's talk about the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny and how it went from being a simple piece of copper to $1 million marvel. So, what's the deal with this 1988 penny? To start, a normal 1988 penny looks pretty much like every other penny, copper, with Abraham Lincoln's face on it, the year 1988 stamped on one side, and a few basic details about the coin's weight and diameter. But here's the twist: if your 1988 penny doesn't have a mint mark, that little D4 Denver or S4 San Francisco, then you might be holding on to something that could change your life. A no-mint mark penny from 1988 is something of a rarity, and that rarity is what boosts its value. Here's where it gets interesting. So, every year, the US Mint strikes coins in different locations, like Denver, Philadelphia, and San Francisco. Normally, they'll put a mint mark on coins to let you know where they were made. But for some mysterious reason, a few 1988 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark. These coins are rare, and rare means valuable. The ones that made it out of circulation are worth, you guessed it, around $1.3 million today. But don't start thinking you're going to find one in your change at the gas station anytime soon. These bad boys are rare, and finding one in decent condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. Why on earth is a penny from 1988 worth more than a small house in the Midwest? Well, here's the thing, the US Mint doesn't typically make mistakes like this, so a 1988 penny with no mint mark is a bit of a mystery coin. Coin collectors love those. It's like finding an autographed baseball from a player you've never heard of, but in the coin world, that's a goldmine. The rarity and the mystery behind these coins are exactly what make them worth so much. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, so there's a $1.3 million penny out there. How do I find it? Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but just because you find a 1988 penny doesn't mean it's worth millions. First, it has to be a no-mint mark penny, and second, it has to be in mint condition. That means no scratches, no discoloration, no weird dents. Basically, it needs to look like it just rolled off the mint's press yesterday. These coins are pretty tough to find in perfect condition, but it's not impossible. I'll be honest with you. I had a penny collection growing up, but I wasn't exactly looking for rare stuff. I was more into finding pennies from different states and seeing if I could make a penny book out of them. One day, I thought I found a rare coin, and I got all excited, thinking I had stumbled upon some hidden treasure. Turned out, it was just a 1982 penny with a slight misprint, not quite $1 million find, but hey, it taught me the importance of checking my change carefully. So, no, I didn't retire off a lucky find, but the lesson stuck with me: always check your pennies. Okay, so now you know that the 1988 no mint mark penny is a big deal. But how do you find one? Here's the trick. First, look at the year, check if it says 1988, obviously. Then, flip it over and see if there's a mint mark. If it's missing, you've got yourself a potential jackpot. But don't just go throwing it in the trash if you find one. Keep it safe, get it professionally graded, and find out if it's in great condition. The better the condition, the higher the value. So, in summary, the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a rare find, and if you come across one in good condition, it could be worth a small fortune, up to $1.3 million, to be exact. But remember, not every 1988 penny is going to make you rich. It has to be in the right condition, and it has to be the no mint mark variety. Now, I know you're probably rushing to your coin jar right now, but before you get too excited, let me remind you that this coin is a rare gem. But don't worry, there are plenty more coins out there that could be worth big money, and I'll be bringing you tips on how to spot them every week. So, if you don't want to miss out on more coin treasures like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. I'm here to help you turn your spare change into serious cash, one coin at a time. Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and history buffs. Picture this: you're going through your spare change, and you find a penny that makes you feel like you just struck gold. Not literally, of course, but you get what I mean, right? Well, what if I told you there's a penny, not just any old penny, but a 1993 Lincoln penny with no mint mark that's worth a whopping $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A penny worth a small fortune. Sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? But no, it's real. And today, we're diving deep into why this 1993 penny could make you rich and how you can spot one in your own collection. Stick around, because by the end of this, you might just be checking your couch cushions in search of your own hidden treasure. Alright, let's set the stage here. A lot of you are probably wondering, wait, 1993? I thought we were talking about those shiny pennies from the early 1900s. But here's the thing, not all pennies are created equal. Some have flaws, some are just plain old special, and some are just downright rare. And that's where the 1993 no mint mark Lincoln penny comes in. And now, the first thing you're probably thinking is, what makes this penny so special? It's just a penny. And you're right, it looks like just any other penny. But trust me, the value comes from what's hidden beneath the surface. You see, in 1993, the US Mint made a huge mistake. Well, actually, it was a series of mistakes. For a brief period, some of the pennies minted that year didn't have the usual mint mark on the back, those little letters that tell you where the coin was made. Normally, that mint mark is there to tell you whether it was made in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. But in 1993, a tiny batch of pennies were made without any mint mark at all. And that little oops makes all the difference. But how rare are we talking about here? I'm talking about a limited number of these mintless pennies floating around in the wild. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. And when you do find one, guess what? That error coin is worth over $1 million on the market. Now, if that doesn't get your heart racing, I don't know what will. I mean, imagine the moment you realize you have a coin worth more than a new car. And now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, how do I know if my 1993 penny is one of those special error coins? Great question. It all comes down to the details. First off, check for the mint mark. If your penny has no mint mark on the back, that's step 1. But just having no mint mark doesn't mean it's worth $1.4 million, unfortunately. You need to be sure that it's the authentic error penny, meaning it was part of that very rare production mishap from the mint. You might want to get it professionally graded or certified to be sure. A coin like this, with the right condition and history, can fetch a premium price. Here's where things get fun. Imagine you found one of these rare 1993 no mint mark pennies. It's in your hand, and you're like, I'm rich. Well, hold on, not so fast. You can't just run to a coin dealer and expect a check for $1.4 million. A lot of factors play into the final value. Condition is key. If your penny is covered in dirt, scratched up, or has been through the washing machine, it's probably not going to fetch top dollar. The best condition coins are the ones that get top tier prices. Think about it like dating. You wouldn't want a first date covered in coffee stains and wrinkled clothes, right? Your coin needs to look its best, but here's the fun part. I actually had an experience just like this once. Well, not quite the $1 million coin, but I did find a 1960-something penny in my change one day. It was shiny and fresh looking, and I thought, hey, maybe it's one of those rare error coins. So, I did the only logical thing. I started Googling and got totally caught up in the whole treasure hunt mindset. I even thought about posting it on eBay for a ridiculous price. After all, it was a cool find, right? But in the end, it was just a regular old penny. Still, that moment of excitement, thinking I had struck gold for about 5 minutes, was priceless. If you think you found a rare 1993 no mint mark penny, it's time to get serious. Get it checked out by a professional, look up the current market prices, and maybe even get it certified by a grading company like PCGS or NGC. Once it's graded, you'll have a much better idea of its true value. But trust me, even if it's not worth $1.4 million, you could still have a pretty penny in your hands. Alright, folks, let's wrap this up. The 1993 no mint mark Lincoln penny is definitely one of the cooler coins you could have in your collection. But remember, finding one doesn't just happen every day. These little treasures are rare for a reason. However, with a little luck, some knowledge, and maybe a bit of your own adventure, and maybe even a little Google research, you could be the one walking around with a fortune hidden in your pocket. If you're interested in learning more about rare coins, tips on spotting valuable pennies, or strategies to start your own treasure hunt, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more videos coming your way to help you navigate the world of valuable coins, from rare pennies to other hidden gems that could make you a millionaire, or at least help you find some interesting pocket change. And hey, if you've got any rare pennies or cool finds, drop a comment and let me know. I'd love to hear your coin stories. Hey there, fellow coin lovers. Imagine finding a penny sitting on the ground, looking like any other penny, but that penny could be worth $1.5 million. Yes, you heard me right, $1.5 million. Now, before you start scouring your couch cushions or your backyard like some sort of treasure hunter, let's break down exactly how this crazy coin could end up in your pocket, and why it's more than just your average change. Grab your magnifying glass, because today we're diving into the wild world of the 1995 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and how it could be the goldmine you've been looking for. What makes this little penny worth so much? Well, the 1995 no-mint mark penny is a true oddball in the world of collectible coins. Here's the deal: in 1995, the US Mint released a series of pennies, but some of them didn't have a mint mark. Typically, every penny has a mint mark that shows where it was made, either the Philadelphia Mint, which doesn't usually have a mint mark, Denver, or San Francisco. But this one, this elusive penny, doesn't have that mint mark. And that's what makes it so rare. Think of it this way: it's like showing up at a party wearing the same outfit as everyone else, but you're the only one rocking a vintage, one-of-a-kind jacket. Everyone notices you, and boom, you become the center of attention. That's exactly what happened with this penny. Mint errors like these happen occasionally, but the fact that so few of these no-mint mark pennies exist, and they were discovered, made them highly sought after by collectors. Here's where things get even crazier. The collectible coin market can be wild. Imagine the excitement when this 1995 no-mint mark penny was discovered. Collectors and investors who had been waiting for years to find something like this swooped in, bidding higher and higher until one of these coins was sold for over $1.5 million. That's not pocket change, folks, that's life-changing money, but how do you even know if you've got one? Well, the first thing is to look for the obvious: check if there's a mint mark. If there isn't, congratulations, you might be holding the holy grail of pennies. But don't go thinking your penny is automatically worth $1.5 million. No, we're getting there. First, let's talk about condition. Just like with anything collectible, the condition of the coin is everything. If it's in great shape, the value shoots up, but if it's been banged around, then the value drops faster than your favorite TV show gets cancelled. So, keep those pennies in pristine condition, people. Speaking of keeping things in pristine condition, let me tell you a quick story. When I was younger, my mom gave me a coin collection that had been passed down through the family. It was this beautiful old collection of silver coins, and I thought I was rich. I mean, who wouldn't want a collection full of shiny coins, right? Well, as the years went by, I decided to take a closer look at them and realized I had a couple of rare ones. One had a mint error, and I was so excited. But here's the kicker: I had no idea about how to store them properly. I left them in a shoebox, tossed around in there like marbles. You can probably guess what happened. Over time, the value dropped. I still have the coins, but I always wonder what I could have done if I'd taken better care of them. So, moral of the story: take good care of your coins, or you might be left wondering what could have been, just like I did with my old coins. Now, let's get to the good stuff. How do you actually know if your penny is worth all this money? Besides the no mint mark thing, which is key, you want to check for these other things. The year and the level of detail matter a lot. A penny that's worn down to almost nothing is not going to have the same value as one that looks crisp and shiny. You'll want to get it authenticated. This means sending it to a grading company to determine if it's the real deal or just a regular old penny in disguise. The fewer of these coins there are, the higher the value. So, the 1995 no mint mark penny is rare, but it's not the only error coin out there. Make sure you've got something that stands out. Alright, so maybe you've found this rare gem in your change jar, but what do you do now? Selling a coin worth $1.5 million is no small feat, my friend. You'll want to work with a reputable coin dealer or auction house. Trust me, you don't want to end up getting ripped off by someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. The market is full of sharks, so be sure to do your homework, know the value, and don't just take the first offer you get. Will these pennies keep getting more valuable? Great question. Like anything rare, the market value will fluctuate, but one thing's for sure: as time passes and fewer of these coins are found, the demand for them will likely increase. Collectors love things that are hard to find, and the rarity factor with these pennies only adds to their mystique. Plus, with more people getting into coin collecting every day, there's always a chance that a new batch of collectors might drive the value up even higher. Alright, folks, if you've got a 1995 no mint mark penny, now's the time to get excited. But before you run off to check your change, remember, taking care of your coins and understanding the market is key to getting the best value for them. And if you want more tips on valuable coins and strategies to make sure you're on top of the coin collecting game, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of insider knowledge coming your way, and who knows? You might just find the next big money penny in your pocket. Hey, what's up, coin lovers? Welcome back to the channel. So, you've got a penny, right? You probably have a bunch of them tucked away in drawers, under couch cushions, or buried deep in that change jar. But, let me hit you with this: what if one of those pennies could be worth a crazy $1.6 million? Yeah, you heard me right. $1,600,000 sounds like a dream, right? But it's not a dream, it's the reality of the 1971 Mint Mark Lincoln penny. So stick around, because today, I'm going to take you through how this penny went from everyday change to one of the most valuable coins on the market. And believe me, you'll want to know if you've got one lying around. Let's get into it. Now, let's start by breaking this down. The 1971 Mint Mark penny might seem like just another typical penny at first glance. It's got the iconic Lincoln face, the classic wheat ears, and if you were born after, 1960, there's a good chance you've seen this coin 100 times. But let me tell you, not all pennies are created equal. This one? It's got a backstory that could make a coin collector lose their mind. The S in 1971. That's for San Francisco, where this bad boy was minted. Back in 1971, the US Mint had a lot going on. They were transitioning from the old-school heavy bronze pennies to the lighter, copper-plated zinc ones, so it was an interesting time in the world of coinage. But hold up, here's where it gets fun. The 1971 penny is rare in its own right because, unlike some other pennies of its era, it had relatively limited circulation. Which means, you're not likely to find one in just any pocket change, no matter how much you dig around in your couch cushions, and trust me, I've done the whole looking through change thing. I once spent a solid 20 minutes digging through a jar of pennies, only to find I was one penny short of buying a soda. Not my proudest moment. But, imagine this: if you find a 1971 penny, you could be looking at something worth upwards of $1.6 million. So, yeah, I'd say that's a bit of an upgrade from the soda. Now, the big question: why is this coin worth so much? Well, here's where it gets a little more technical. The 1971 penny is rare, yes. But it's not just the rarity that makes it a goldmine for collectors. It's the condition. If your 1971 penny is in mint condition, like, straight out of the mint shiny, it's gonna fetch top dollar. We're talking about pennies that are graded in near perfect condition by coin professionals. This is where things get really fun, because it means not every 1971 penny is going to make you a millionaire. I mean, if it's been through the ringer, scratches, tarnish, bent edges, you're probably not getting that $1 million payday. But if you've got one that's in gem quality condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Okay, story time. A couple of years ago, I was at a local flea market, just me, a cup of overpriced coffee, and a table full of coins. I was looking through some random boxes when I spotted a little 1971 penny. My heart stopped. I mean, I thought, this could be it. This could be my ticket to a massive payday. But, plot twist, I didn't have a clue about the grading system. I just looked at it and thought, hey, it's an Mint Mark, it must be worth something. So, like any responsible coin enthusiast, I took it to a dealer. Turns out, it was in decent condition but not mint enough to be worth a fortune. Still, I learned a valuable lesson that day: knowing the grade and condition is everything. If you've got a 1971 penny and it's in near perfect condition, you might just be sitting on a gold mine. But if it's a little roughed up, maybe not quite $1 million. But hey, it's still a cool piece of history, alright? So here's the takeaway. The 1971 Mint Mark penny is a rare gem in the world of coin collecting. It might not seem like much at first, but if you've got one in good condition, you could be holding on to a serious chunk of change. But as with all things in the coin world, the condition matters, and I mean really matters. So, go ahead, check your coin jars, check your pockets, and make sure that penny isn't hiding something big. And if you're interested in learning more about which coins could make you a millionaire, trust me, you're going to want to stick around. I'll keep bringing you all the tips and tricks you need to spot those hidden treasures. And hey, if you learned something new today, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on all the upcoming tips, coin strategies, and stories about rare finds. Who knows? The next penny you find could be your ticket to a fortune. So, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Catch you next time, and happy hunting, fellow coin collectors. Hey there, coin collectors and curious folks alike. Let me start this with a fun little nugget for you. What if I told you that a small, seemingly ordinary penny you might have in your jar, in your car, or under the couch cushions could be worth a whopping $1.7 million? Yeah, you heard me right, $1.7 million. Sounds like a stretch, right? But hold on to your hats, because we're about to talk about one of the most fascinating and valuable pennies out there, the 1963 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, another one of those, I found a penny in my pocket, it's worth million stories, just hear me out. This isn't your average run-of-the-mill penny we're talking about. We're diving into a real treasure that could make your wallet very, very happy. So buckle up and let's take a look at why this penny is one of the hottest topics in the coin world today. Alright, let's get the basics out of the way first. The 1963 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is exactly what it sounds like, a penny from 1963 with no mint mark. Sounds simple, right? But here's the kicker, no mint mark on a 1963 penny is incredibly rare and valuable. You see, pennies minted in 1963 usually come with a D for Denver, or S for San Francisco, mint mark, but some, very, very few, slipped through the cracks and were made without one. These no mint mark coins were created by accident, making them highly sought after by collectors. And now, here's where it gets good. You know how you can go to a yard sale and see a bunch of old coins tossed into a jar, gathering dust like they're nothing special? Well, this little penny could have been in one of those jars. There are actually people who've bought random lots of pennies, pulled out a 1963 no mint mark by chance, and turned it into a literal goldmine. How crazy is that? I'll share a quick personal story here. A few years ago, I was at a flea market and spotted an old coffee can full of random coins. The seller was asking like $5 for the whole thing, and I thought, why not? I walked away, half thinking it was just a random bunch of junk. But after getting home, I dug through it, and guess what I found? A worn-out, crusty old penny that, while definitely not the 1963 no-mint mark, was worth a few bucks more than I paid. Not quite a $1.7 million penny, but hey, it paid for dinner. Moral of the story, always check your change, because you never know when you'll find something that could make your jaw drop. But let's get back to the star of the show, the 1963 no-mint mark penny. So why exactly is this penny worth so much? Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's rare. Like, really rare. Experts believe that only a small number of these were produced, and they didn't get noticed until long after they were in circulation. By then, most of them had either been used up or thrown away. That's why today, if you come across one of these, you've hit the jackpot. The rarity makes it worth an estimated $1.7 million today, and the value keeps rising as more collectors seek out these elusive gems. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how can I spot one of these? It's actually not that hard, but it's all about paying attention. If you've got any 1963 pennies lying around, you'll want to check the reverse side for the mint mark. The absence of it could be your ticket to the Coin Collecting Hall of Fame. It's a simple check that could lead you to a life-changing find. Remember, a penny saved isn't always just a penny saved, sometimes it's a small fortune hidden in plain sight. So, what do we learn from all this? If you've got a 1963 penny lying around, take a close look. It could be worth more than your lunch money, it could be worth millions. And if you're like me and you can't seem to find one of these elusive pennies, don't worry. There are plenty of other rare coins out there waiting to be discovered. And who knows? You might just stumble across your next big find while you're casually flipping through that old coin jar or hunting for treasure at your local flea market. If you're as obsessed with finding coins worth serious cash as I am, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more tips, tricks, and coin collecting strategies. Who knows what kind of valuable treasure you might find next? Keep those eyes peeled, folks, and I'll see you next time with more cool tips to turn your pocket change into a fortune. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Hey, coin collectors and curious treasure hunters. What if I told you that a coin that's so small, it could get lost in the couch cushions, could be worth a mind-blowing $1.8 million? Yeah, I'm talking about the 2006 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Sounds wild, right? You probably think, wait, a penny? That tiny thing? But stick with me, because this is about to get pretty crazy. So, buckle up, grab your magnifying glass, and let's dive into the mystery of this priceless penny. Alright, let's rewind the clock to 2006. Most of us were probably still trying to figure out the whole flip phone situation, remember those? Meanwhile, the US Mint was busy churning out pennies for our loose change. But what they didn't know is that one of those pennies, made that year, would end up being a millionaire maker. And no, I'm not talking about some special edition penny with a fancy design or an error that makes it look like the Lincoln Memorial is doing the Macarena. We're talking about a penny with no mint mark, nothing at all to indicate where it was made. And trust me, that's a big deal in the coin world. So here's the deal, most pennies you find have a mint mark. If it's a D, it's from Denver. If it's an S, it's from San Francisco. But the 2006 no mint mark penny? Nada. Zip. Zilch. And that omission? It's what's driving collectors crazy. And now, you're probably thinking, why does it matter if it's missing a tiny letter? Well, my friend, that little mint mark, or the lack of it, makes this penny super rare. You see, it's believed that a few pennies were accidentally struck at the Denver Mint, but they were somehow left off the mint mark list. These things weren't supposed to happen. They're like the unicorns of the coin world, and because of that, they are incredibly valuable. Okay, so the obvious question now is, how do I know if I have one of these bad boys in my pocket? Great question, right? You probably won't find a 2006 no mint mark Lincoln penny in your everyday change, but hey, they are out there. You'll want to look for a penny that was minted in 2006 but doesn't have the D or S mint mark. Pretty simple, right? But here's where things get a little trickier. These coins didn't just fall into collectors' laps. No. People have been on the hunt for them, checking their pockets, looking through rolls of coins, even raiding their piggy banks to find these elusive pennies. If you happen to come across one, don't just toss it aside like you're swatting away a fly. No, my friend, you might just be holding a small fortune in your hands. And now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was going through a box of old pennies, mostly just junk, nothing special. I had a pile of them sitting there, and I thought, well, maybe I'll get lucky. So, I grabbed my trusty magnifying glass and started inspecting each one like I was Sherlock Holmes on a mission. It wasn't until I came across a shiny 2006 penny with no mint mark that I stopped dead in my tracks. Could it be? No way. I rushed to my computer, Googled it, and boom, my heart skipped a beat. There it was, the 2006 no mint mark Lincoln penny, worth potentially thousands of dollars if I had one in pristine condition. Now, I didn't find a gem worth $1.8 million, unfortunately, but the excitement of discovering something rare? Let me tell you, it's addicting. If you're into coins, that thrill is like hitting a jackpot. Let's break down why these 2006 no mint mark pennies are so valuable. First, their rarity. As you can imagine, not a whole lot of these guys slipped through the cracks. They're an error coin, an accidental omission that turned into a collector's dream. But don't be fooled, just because a penny doesn't have a mint mark doesn't mean it's automatically worth millions. Condition is key. You want to look for a coin that's in great shape, no scratches, no dull spots. If it's in mint condition, that's where the big bucks are. And now, the current market value of these bad boys is around $1.8 million, but it's important to remember that the market can fluctuate. Some of these coins have sold for just a few $1,000s, while others have gone for way more. Why? Because collectors are crazy passionate about errors, especially ones this rare. Let's chat about what you should do if you think you found one of these hidden gems. First, take a deep breath. If you're like me, you might start getting a little too excited and rush to sell it right away. But hold up, before you put it on eBay, it's a good idea to get it graded by a professional coin grader. This is super important because the condition and authenticity of the coin will make a huge difference in how much it's worth. If you're serious about selling it, then find a reputable coin dealer who specializes in rare coins. But if you're just excited about the thrill of discovery, then hold on to it and enjoy the journey. You never know, that little penny could be worth more than you ever expected. Before I wrap up, let me leave you with a quick piece of advice. Coin collecting is like a treasure hunt with endless possibilities. Sometimes, it's all about the thrill of the chase. And trust me, whether you find a penny worth $1.8 million or a penny worth $1, the joy of collecting never gets old. Every time you spot something rare, it feels like winning a mini lottery. And who doesn't want that? So, what's the takeaway here? Check your change, folks. That little penny in your pocket might be worth a lot more than you think. If you ever find a 2006 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, give yourself a high five, because you might just be holding onto a small piece of history. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of tips and stories about coins worth big money, and trust me, you won't want to miss out on the next big find. So, hit that bell, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, and let's keep the coin hunting adventure going.